All right. Welcome, guys, to a first of these type of streams. We're going to be doing these at the end of every season, and we're going to be doing the player ratings of every single Liverpool player who's actually played. We're going to do player ratings of players who've played on a consistent basis, not players who've played once, like Kane and Clarkson and them lot, because they've only played one game. But we're going to just go through basically the whole squad and figure out what the best 11 of the season was and what the worst 11 of the season was. So we've got Ryan, Welford. This is good to see you back, Welford. Joe needs a haircut. See Joe is making fun of his own head. Fair enough.
If I'm not going to join in the joke with myself and you, then it's just never going to happen. So if they're in the comments.
Right, if you embrace the joke, then they can't make fun of you because you're the one taking his only the haircut. So, and obviously Stephen, who's there, everybody stream as usual. So we're going to do player ratings. What we're going to do for now is I'm going to give everyone three different players, and we're going to just build up rating for the season. I'm going to get a notepad out, and I'm going to write down everyone's answers, and we'll kind of just figure out what the average kind of ratings for each player and see how we go. So, first of all, I'm going to go through everyone and ask you how you feel the seasons went and how you feel about yesterday. So, Welford, how do you feel yesterday went, and how are you feeling about the season as a whole after yesterday?
Obviously, yesterday was massive. Top four was in our hands for quite a long past 2 weeks, I'd say. The two wins against West Brom and Burnley. But yeah, it's been a definition of a rollercoaster season. It's been crazy to witness so many games and being on edge for the full 90 minutes, and the injuries, the mad lineups, the centre half pairings have been crazy this season, and no one ever could have thought that Rhys Williams and Nat Phillips would play a solid run of games together. It would have been the last four in our minds. But yeah, we've done very, very well to finish third as well, to be the third best team in the league with the injuries, with us being 8th at one point. So yeah, they've done really well to turn it around, and the 5 games that we needed to all win, they've done it. They've worked together as a team, and it's been incredible. So big up to the lads for putting in the graft and getting us into the top 4 for next year, and hopefully go on and a bit of a run in the Champions League wouldn't be too bad.
What I love is that all of us here, and I've got to give it a Demo Dre, right? So all of us, Demo was saying, bro, we're going to get top 4. Everyone was going, oh my God, he's delusional, all that kind of stuff. And so did I, because it was so unlikely. But we've done it. So as I said, I'm sorry, Demo, I've had to buy Demo a new kit with the number he wants and everything. I've tried to order it, but for some reason it keeps declining, even though I have money in my account. So I've just figure out for later. But Joe, same question to you.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a tale of 3 thirds. Well, a tale of thirds. You know, we started the season pretty well. You know, even when we had the Van Dijk injury, we kind of responded well with Matip wasn't injured at the time, and Gomez played a few games, and we had that Spurs game where it was looking like us and Spurs at the top, and we managed to win that game. We backed that up with Palace away over 7-0. So it was a really good first third to the season. I think we all had something in ourselves which felt like if we didn't replace in January, we wouldn't be able to sustain this. So although we started well, I do remember saying, hold on a sec, this isn't we're not going to be able to sustain this. We have to buy and recruit in January. And we were scrapping a few games here and there, even though we were getting the results. So it was all right. But then came the disaster midway through the season. We just drew and lost and drew and lost and then lost and then lost and then drew and then lost. And it was terrible. The 6 Anfield games were shocking. Honestly, it was painful. The defeats, the embarrassing nature of the defeats. How we had to. We took a lot of shit as a fan base. We were getting roasted loads, and I think all of us kind of called off top 4 a long time ago. There were some people that still thought we could get it, and then it made it look like even harder that we could get it, which proved those right. And then came the last third of the season, and somehow we miraculously came back, an absolutely insane run of games, and we didn't think it was on the cards because of how the season went and because of the injuries that we still had towards the end of the season. You know, like Nat Phillips alongside Kabak and Nat Phillips alongside Rhys Williams were our main centre defensive partnership for the last third of the games. I don't think any of us thought perhaps that was good enough, but Nat Phillips in particular kind of spearheaded us at the back, and that string of results, including away wins to Man United and Arsenal, and obviously the Alisson header. It was, again, a season of thirds, and I think we've done really well, as Welford said, with the injuries, to come third ahead of Chelsea, who spent £220 million on their squad. And if you look at our bench this season, it's been dire. Look, our bench for most of the time has been shocking. So I think it's done very good. But obviously, we want to be challenging for trophies in all departments next season. So we've got to make sure none of this shit happens again, to be honest.
Stephen.
I mean, complete mad, isn't it? Like, you can't really expect that you would have had 9 losses, but you still would have ended up in the top 4. It's insane to get your head around it. I mean, if you start from the start of the season, like, it's the first game is like 4-3 to Leeds, if you remember, and people were starting to question what were the defense doing, but we can't we will just kind of like rubbed it off. You know what I mean? It's okay, we'll go again, and we beat Chelsea 2-0 away. Then we went and beat I think it was Arsenal at home 3-1 after that. But then like a week later we go on ahead and lose to Aston Villa 7-2. You know, it's just and you even have Van Dijk in there. I think the problem with that game was the high line was off for some of them players who weren't sort of used to it. I think if you brought in a Van Dijk now, he might get used to it, but it depends on what he comes back, if he's going to be the same player after that terrible long year ACL injury. I mean, that can do wonders. But I think we went on a good run from October to November, then to December, and I think it was around West Brom 1-1 at home. That's when the rails started going off the sleeves. When we kept losing away to Southampton was one of them, lost home to Burnley, lost home to Brighton, lost home to 4-1 to Man City. The list kept going on. Everton, Fulham, it was just a disgrace of what was going on, and we all just kind of said, "Yeah, top 4's done. How can we come back from this?" So it's just. I think I thought about this last night. I think Klopp is one of the best managers I've seen, because I think not only if he can win a league, if he like that, but he can go ahead and do like the sort of things.
Oh wow! Internet. Oh, sorry about that.
Conroy, what's going on?
Yes, Conroy.
You hear me, guys?
Everyone, yeah, you keep.
Yeah.
You're Canadian.
Okay. 2 seconds. I'm just going to close a few windows. All right, I'll be 2 seconds.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm building a list of players for everyone. So everyone's going to have a list of different players to rate. Also, we can't put Ben Davies on there because he's going to get not applicable.
We can rate his performance in the kitchen. You know, I think he really demonstrated his skills.
The guy makes cup food.
In that advert that he did.
I think I've got loads of players. I'm basically in the whole squad. I'm trying to put players that have played this season. You know, you can't put Harvey Davis, Kane, Woodburn, Cometio, because these guys haven't played.
No, we don't need to put them.
Okay, all of these. Ben Davis did not play. Forwards, yep. On loan, yep. Okay, so I've got the whole squad. I'm going on to you, Ryan, when this is all going on. Ryan,
listen.
Question to you.
Man U fans, Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, all of you guys were banter in Liverpool, say we are the world champion. You see, you guys talk too much. How comes Liverpool is the worst champion? I want to ask all of the Man United fans, how comes we are the worst champion? Leicester City win it in 2016, finish 9 or 10. Chelsea win the Premier League and not even come in the top 10. So how comes Liverpool is the worst champion and we finish third? behave on yourself and shut up. But I am excited and I am happy with the team and I'm happy with the fight. The team come back and finish third. No one expecting us to finish in the top 4. And we have to give Jurgen Klopp, we have to give every single player a lot of credit. We have to give Nat Phillips credit. We have to give Demo J a lot of credit. He has been, when 10 game leave, he's keep on say we're going to make top 4. So we have to give him a little bit of credit. But come next year, it cannot be the same thing. Need FSG to go and do something because know if Virgil van Dijk will be the same. We don't know if Gomez will be the same. We cannot afford to have the same problem next year. We have to prepare. Like Manchester last season, they prepare. They spend 40 million on a centre back. We know we don't have the money like Manchester City, but we have to prevent some of these things not to happen. And yeah, big up to Genie. I wish him all the best. Yesterday I was crying on the stream and I feel it because he a part of us and I love him. So I become emotional yesterday when I see Genie leave us. But I wish him all the best. Liverpool legend and respect him. But great to finish third.
Okay, now because Stephen's back. Stephen, I'm going to ask the same question.
What was it? I think I missed it.
The question was, after yesterday, how do you feel the season has gone as a whole?
I think I might have cut off when I must have said something along the lines of January, February, and March were the worst times of the season. I think that's where it was. Like losing home to Man City, losing home to Everton. It wasn't acceptable. To drop off like that. You know what I mean? And I think what I meant to say, what Klopp does to get them motivated again, to get them back into the top 4. He must have had some sort of plan that made it work. That getting these players steered up to saying, "Oh, look, this is not acceptable for what you like done since last year." So it's very much like if you were champions last year and you were so dominant, why did you drop off? So I think what Klopp did was very much get them so motivated and getting back into the top 4. It was like I think Klopp knows Liverpool well, and I think Klopp knows what's at stake for the standards of this club. So like. And that's why Klopp's my manager. Like I have full belief in this guy. I mean, how can you not have full belief in this guy anymore? If he can get us in top 4 with the likes of Nat Phillips and Rhys Williams and a Kabak in there, right, the likes of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, then there's nothing else really to blame there apart from Klopp's just a great manager and getting these players motivated. So and the players also getting motivated. So I think that's what I took away from yesterday, which I was so happy to see.
Conroy, you're next.
Just on that, be honest, guys. Let's not like sugarcoat it. We got lucky to get in the Champions League. Let's not it's not a brilliance by Liverpool. It's luck because other teams. You're never going to have a season where you get beat.
Conroy, it's not.
But it is though, mate. It is like. No, it's amazing to be happy about it. But let's if you polish a third, it's still been a third. I'm not saying that's exaggerating, but it's lucky we got in. We can't always be like, because we're Liverpool fans, everything's amazing. We need to stop doing that. We got in because other teams bottled it. Arsenal beat Chelsea and Spurs beat Leicester. We should be sending them a bottle of champagne because that's the reason we got in. Because we're the same team that fell apart against Newcastle and conceded in the last minute. It's a great season to look at it, the result, but overall, it's still a poor performance. I hear what you're saying, Stephen, but I love Klopp. I'm Klopp's biggest fan. But Klopp's had a poor season. Klopp has made a lot of mistakes this year. I think I agree, mate, that he's pulled it back at the end, but I'm buzzing for next season. I think everything will be fine. But there's one thing I would say about Klopp is he's never I wouldn't say we're a rebuild. We're not a rebuild or anything like that. Because I hate when people do that. It's like every team you talk about, we're in transition. It's just an excuse nowadays. We're in transition. That's why. But I think Klopp, for me, there's some really good signs the last couple of games in the last run of the last 10 games that he's getting that back. I was worried that it had gone. And I'll be honest, he still made some questionable decisions. And I mean, if you guys were rating Klopp's season, what would you give Klopp out of 10?
I'd give him a 6.5. Just the fact the last 11 games are unbeaten and conceded like 6 goals. So
that's it, mate. I say it's a passable season, but it's
7.
Yeah.
You know, he's done well, but we're very good at like causing yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm
we can't
buzzing
take
with it.
recency bias into account.
Yeah.
But he's done the
But-
best you physically can. That's the best we could have got, and we've got it. So I'm not bothered, to be fair.
Yeah.
As long as we've got Champions
Yeah,
League.
amazing, mate.
Move
I
on.
think. Do you not think he stopped overthinking? Exactly, Finn. I think he stopped overthinking. See, like the Fabinho at centre back. I think he just went,
He had
that's
to
my
take the
centre
risk.
backs. Just go with it. And I think I was proved wrong because I thought doesn't matter if Fabinho's at defensive mid, you're still a liability at the back. But obviously the risk was worth the reward, and
Definitely.
it worked. No, I'm not, Timo. I'm not saying. I'm saying the fact Arsenal beat Chelsea is lucky for Liverpool. Of course it is, because if it didn't do that, we wouldn't have made the top 4.
But then we could have said like other results that we.
But mate, that momentum's
that we're
everything.
lucky
So
for
if Arsenal beat Chelsea, you can't say Tottenham would have beat Leicester because every game is momentum, and that's what leads into a game. I hate when people say you go 1-0 up, and then you go. What is it? If it was like a team misses a chance and they say, "Oh, it would have finished 2-1 anyway." That's not how football works. Football's all about momentum, so you can't just assume that goal is going to be scored. So listen, I'm absolutely buzzing. I just think we can't. I thought the season was a write-off. I thought we're going to get Europa and we've got the Champions League. It's absolute bonus. And you know what? I wasn't going to say it beforehand, but it will make a difference when it comes to signings, 100%, because I think we all know, realistically, we're not going to get a Mbappe. On you go, Stephen, mate.
Well, probably not, no.
No, I was saying, realistically, we're realistic. That's not Liverpool signings.
Yeah, like what you said, Conor, I think it'll be probably like more of another Jota, I think, just to be on the bench and then rotation. But what I think for next season needs to happen is you have this. If you notice over the last 3 seasons, this team has been together for about 3 years now, since that Champions League final back in 2018. The majority of them players are still in the squad. I think if you're going to sort of rotate more, and if you're going to have to refresh the squad, I think bring in a few players to sort of challenge the teams that, you know, in the likes of a Wijnaldum, well, not Wijnaldum because he's not here anymore, the likes of a Thiago, the likes of a Salah, the likes of maybe a centre back, maybe give Virgil van Dijk a bit of a rest next season. You know what I mean? I think
you can't do that.
Then things sort of done, like getting a few. Why? I mean, why not? Because it's just like, you know.
Well, if Klopp decides to rest Van Dijk, I won't support Liverpool anymore. You physically cannot rest the best player in the world in his position. You physically cannot do that.
I think Steven's making the point that
but I don't like Van Dijk.
He settled in after injuries. So like in some games, it probably isn't the worst scenario to perhaps give Van Dijk a rest. Obviously, in minimal as possible. Obviously, he is the best defender in the world, but in terms of coming back from injury, like we should be able to be like, okay, you know what, we don't have to play Virgil in this game, you know, got to ease him back in. So I think it does make sense.
I understand that, but what games? So if you had a Premier League game against Watford first game of the season, would you rest Van Dijk?
First game of the season,
I think the cup games.
Champions League.
Obviously cup games, I agree with that, but I mean, Champions League, group stages, Premier League games, you physically cannot rest them. I understand Carabao Cup, FA Cup, yes, sound, we do every year, but you can't be resting. We need to try and go for one of these trophies again next year.
True.
And try and get our. I feel like that's risky, very risky.
I think by the time that comes, sorry, John.
All right, fine.
By the time. There's a delay from me. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to interrupt. On you go, Joe. On you go, mate. There's a delay from my.
I don't know whose internet is a bit short. But no. I mean, well, obviously, like I agree, Van Dijk can't be rested. But I do think you have to be careful with him, because if we want him to last the season, we can't burn him out.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, I think if we're playing like Southampton or Newcastle at home, Watford at home, this type of stuff. You know, we should have enough. Like, we should be confident to be like, okay, if Konate comes, he can play alongside Gomez.
Yeah, if Konate comes, I'd be down to, like, if you got like Watford at home, like 3 games in, play Konate and Gomez or Matip and Gomez. I'm fine with that. I mean, though, you just can't not play him for the first like 5 games and just ease him back in. He needs to get back to it. He needs to like get back into the game. He needs to get back in the momentum of playing games and being fit enough to play a full 90 minutes and work on his positioning, because he's not kicked the ball for a year, so he's going to be. Everyone will be rusty.
I think he'll have an important pre-season. It'll be really big for him pre-season for Van Dijk, getting back used to the style and stuff like that. But I think we trust Klopp and Van Dijk himself to know which games he wants to play and which games he feels confident to play and that type of stuff. But the medical team,
here's
geez,
but here's the thing.
knows what type of judgment they're going to have, because they're just injuring everyone these days.
But here's the thing, guys. I think we've been basing this on the lines of how many minutes Klopp gives these players over the past 3 years. I don't think they've had a rest. They've had a proper rest. If I'm being honest with you, like look at Mane and Salah. They've gone to like their African nations teams like.
Look at Andy Robertson.
Summertime or in the wintertime.
Played all 38 games this season.
Yeah,
I've got news for you though. That's not going to change.
Yeah,
they're not going to sign 8 players. It's not going to happen. So we just need to get used to it.
I agree with that. And the professional football players, I know obviously they get a break now, but we're Liverpool Football Club. We need to be playing as many games as possible. We want to win the best trophies. We want to be in the best competitions. So they need to play a lot of games. And obviously, I do agree with giving some players a rest, like Robertson, like Mane, who've played a lot, as you said. But I still
he's the only one who doesn't get a rest, Robertson.
I know he's Scotland captain. He's played 38 games this season. It's all
He's running on fumes right now, mate. I know. He's absolutely running on fumes.
Robertson might just drop dead tomorrow.
Guys, we need to start the ratings now. We're going on too long. Well, what I'm going to do is I've got a list of all the players. Each of them's got players, and I'm going to give 3 to each people. Go Welford first. I'm going to rate me Trent, Kabak, and Genie this season.
Okay. This is a hard bunch. Trent obviously. Trent obviously started off okay. Well, Liverpool did, to be fair, and then there was that when Liverpool had their bad form from like January, February, March, even a bit of April. Obviously, he was injured for early January and that. But yeah, he was very poor. Give the ball away like 38 times at Southampton, like a record, and we're just having a general nightmare. But the past, I could say solid past 15 games or so, he's put in solid performances, and I feel games like United won us the game. If he wasn't on the pitch, it's a different scoreline. West Brom, solid. Burnley, not his best game, but again, a very good attacking threat, creating chances, as we know from last year. And maybe defensively, not the best, but we see an improvement in that every game. And to be fair, the past couple of games, not many people have been able to get past him. He's been solid with Phillips behind him. So for me, I'm just going to give Trent a 6.5 because he knows how poor he was in that middle stage of the year. But the back end of the season, he's been fantastic and he's been the best player in a Liverpool shirt. But just the reasons for how poor he was in January, February, March, he knows he's been bad and he knows how poor he was then. So I was going to give him a 6.5. Kabak, I'm a big fan of Kabak. I'd like to sign him permanently. Had a bit of a rough start going into it. A lot of people weren't starting to like him, but I feel like his last couple of games before he got injured, Newcastle home, he was solid. But I don't know if he's Liverpool quality. Obviously, very young, and he came from a team that had conceded like 60 goals. His team got relegated. They had a very poor defensive record, so it is tough for Kabak. But I'm going to give him a 6, just the fact that he took a long time to get into it. But I'm a big fan of Kabak. I feel like I'd like to see him stay. That's just my opinion. I feel like it's a bit of a mad sign. I know Liverpool have been after him, but when you need a centre half, you don't go and sign someone who's conceded 60 goals and is only 19 or 20, however old he is. But he's a great player, and I'd definitely keep hold of him. He's got a lot of potential for me, definitely. And then Genie, the main man who left yesterday, was so good to see. And obviously, I blame a lot of it for Liverpool for not giving him the extra couple of grand he wanted, as he said on his Instagram post. But it's a massive shame for Wijnaldum. I've seen some great memories. Obviously, Barca at home, he was a massive part in that. Won us the Champions League, and Klopp summed him up perfectly. The club is built on his legs, his lungs, his brain, and his attitude is amazing. And he's every manager's dream. He's a fantastic player. Gives us all every game. And as I said the other day, every game he comes off, he's always given a solid 7 or 8 out of 10 performance every game. You know what you get with him. And he's missed 13 games out the past 5 seasons for Liverpool. That's absolutely incredible. He's always available. Not his best season, but I feel like he's been available the whole season. He's been solid performance recently. Obviously had a bit of a dip, but the whole club had low points, so you can't really blame him and pull him out on his own. So I'm going to give Genie a 7. I feel like he ended the season very strong, started it very strong, but that dip by Christmas time to the new year, all the club was at a very low point, so we can't just pull people out on their own and say they're the nightmare. So for me, Genie's getting a 7, just the fact that he ended it on a very high point, and some of the games he just does a Genie moment and he just carries the ball well, giving it off. So for me, Wijnaldum's getting a 7.
Very good ratings there, Welford. And now, Joe, you've got 2 goalkeepers and an outfield player. You've got Mr. Adrian, Alisson Becker, and Thiago. So first of all, rate me Alisson, Adrian, and Thiago in that order for this season.
All right. Well, I swear Adrian has only played like 3 games, right?
Yeah, but come on, you can see this 7. So he's
played like
played enough games to be involved because he's.
Are we going to count? Should we really count Adrian? He's only played like.
Yeah, he has played 3 games. Just give him a 2 and move on, I reckon, Joe.
Nah, I want to be.
Just give -1. There you go, -1.
I don't want to be too. Look. I mean, the Villa game, that was atrocious. Was it? He played the Everton game as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
That wasn't so good.
Played Sheffield United away.
Sheffield United, home or away?
Away.
No, Alisson was in goal for FA Cup.
No, Sheffield United away in the league.
Oh, Sheffield United away. Sorry,
No,
I thought you said Alisson.
I don't know.
Got a
the
clean sheet.
Yeah, he did.
Adrian,
He did, to be fair.
I don't know. The Adrian, I don't know. There's no need to be harsh. There is no need to be harsh on him. He's hardly played. He wasn't that good when he played. I'm just going to be normal. I'm not asking him.
Yeah, 5.
4.5.
Don't say
5.
Joe. Don't say Joe.
5, 4.5.
I'm giving him 4.5. Okay, now Ali.
All right.
Big man, Alisson Becker.
Big man, Alisson Becker.
I just give him a 9 for his goal.
Oh, to be fair, I mean, he gets 100 goal he saved this season. Look, Alisson Becker had a very, very tough season. Personally, he's had a chop and change to the defence. I mean, the 20 centre-back partnerships is not just, it doesn't just have an impact on the team and how we build up, but it also has an impact on Alisson as well, because there's a relationship with the defenders and the goalkeepers. Alisson's had to endure new centre-back partnerships consistently, but I feel in general his performances and the saves he's produced in a lot of games have actually been pretty good. Yeah, he's made a few mistakes in several games. There was a time where we were all a bit, hold on a sec, what's going on with Alisson? He's going through a bit of a rough time, but who didn't go through a rough time this season in terms of their form? Every single player had a bad patch. And Alisson, the start of the season, wasn't too bad. The first third, pretty good, to be honest. I don't really remember him doing too many bad things. I do remember the middle third not being great. So a lot of times I felt, even when it wasn't a clear-cut mistake, probably Alisson should have done better. But I think over the last few games in the final third of the season, he's actually been outstanding in terms of some of the saves he's made. He's brought a new level of confidence, and I think his performance has actually improved the back line themselves. I think they've given Rhys and Nat a bit more confidence. And obviously, the West Brom goal is one of the best moments in our history as a football club. I really feel like I want to give Alisson an 8. I think it's a fair score on average. Yeah, I will. I think that the goal definitely ups it, and perhaps if it's not just the goal, I would probably say a 7. I think the goal was just so crucial that an 8 is fairly good. I think that's good enough.
Okay, and then Thiago Alcantara.
Thiago, well, he's kind of just played pretty much the second half of the season, hasn't he? He missed pretty much the whole of the first half of the season. He came on and got injured in that Everton game, or maybe he started. I can't remember.
He started.
Yeah, he did. Remember, it was that Richarlison.
Thiago, I think I'm just going to say Thiago has been a 7. But in general, though, his performances over the past 5, 6, 7 games genuinely have been fantastic. I've been watching every single one. The stuff he's been doing in midfield is just outrageous. It's really boosted his average up. And he was shat on by a lot of people. I felt a bit unfairly. I think people were a bit harsh on him. So I'd say a 7, because I think that's the average. I'd say 7's fair enough, to be honst. I'd like to push it up to a 7.25 if that's possible.
Yeah, 7.25 right now on the score. So at the moment we've got Welford 6.5 for Trent, 6 for Kabak, 7 for Genie, and Joe Alisson 8 out of 10, Adrian 4.5, Thiago 7.25. Yeah. Yes, D-Mo.
What's up, guys?
By the way, I've been trying to get the shirt, but it keeps saying error, so I'm going to try again later.
You're good, bro. You're good. It's good.
Okay, so I'm going to give 3 more players. Ryan, it's your turn. I'm giving you. I'm going to give you 3 players just because this player's come when no one expected it, and I still think he should be rated because he has played a few games. Queven, Kelleher, Robbo, and Gomez. Because I'm putting Gomez and Van Dijk in there because they did play some game before they got injured. So I'd like to include them in the rating. So you got Kelleher, Robbo, Gomez to rate me, Ryan.
Listen, at the time when Alisson got injured, Kelleher come in and perform very good, much better than Adrian. So for me, he makes some important save when I look against Atalanta. Makes some very good save against Ajax. And I think a few Premier League games he play well. So I will give him a 7.5. I think he really deserves to be Liverpool's second choice goalkeeper. We don't need to buy a second string goalkeeper. We have Callum, just promote him and give him Adrian spot. I will happy with Adrian be the third strike goalkeeper. But Gomez didn't play much game, but I don't remember the game that Gomez played, but I will give Gomez a 5. I think that's a very good mark for Gomez. And who is the next player?
Robertson.
I disappointed Robert's season in the first part of the season. I think him and Chen were very, very poor, but they play a lot of game, and you can see he kind of look a little bit tired and stuff, but Klopp would give him a rest. But I think I would give Rabo a 6.5. The second half of the season, I think he performed very well and put in some very good square inside the box and stuff. So in defensive, always proper. So
doesn't get enough credit for that though. Doesn't get enough credit for being defensively good though. I'm sick of hearing Wan-Bissaka being amazing defense. No one beats Robbo down his side, but we just never give him any credit. It's actually ridiculous. Guy's got 7 assists this season, right? 1 goal. Like Luke Shaw is the best left back in the league this year, right? It's not about stats, but that's 2 more stats and 2 more assists than Luke Shaw. But that's not the point. Just like never gets beat down his side, but we just say, oh, that's a 6 out of 10 every week. He never gets beat. Zaha, he couldn't beat him. Like Zaha is took the piss out of Trent for 3 years. Goes on one-on-one with Robbo, can't get by him. Sorry, Ryan, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just sick of Robertson not getting enough credit. He's defensively brilliant, but it's never spoken about, and I just get annoyed about that all the time.
Conroy's got back his Scottish buddy, you know.
No, but it's not that as well. It's like the guy has been defensively and attackingly amazing for 3 years, and it's but Trent's amazing attacking, poor defensively. Yet Robertson doesn't get the same love for just being amazing defensively and doing both. And I just get annoyed. I don't understand why it's like Zaha, who's had Trent's card for about the past 4 years. Robbo does him. He tries to beat him on Trent's side, and
it's because they'll see. It's because they'll see Wan-Bissaka do a couple of like really crunch tackles at the last minute, so therefore that influences people's perception of Wan-Bissaka compared to Robbo, who never really does like a last minute crunch tackle, even though he has done it a few times. But it's more of a consistent kind of.
We as a fan base should be giving him higher marks when he has a solid game defensively, but we just say 6.5, 6. Wan-Bissaka offers nothing in attack most games, yet I just don't get me. I'm a bit annoyed because I just think it's like Robertson.
Don't let it get you.
But Robertson, I think our fan base has to give Robertson more credit as well. It's like the guy has played every game this season. He's played with Trent, who's been awful defensive for the first part. He's had a good end to the season, and then he's had about 20 different partnerships. Only consistent is Andrew Robertson. Yet we're like 6.5, and you're giving Thiago a 7, who is for most of the campaign been underwhelming. I don't see the logic there.
Yeah.
I would have given Robertson a 7.5. That's just my views on Robert.
But if Trent's getting 6.5, Thiago's got to get a 6. There's no way Thiago deserves 7.
No, but that's the thing we're doing. Different people doing.
Yeah, I know. I'm only joking, but I just think
Conroy, you're next, mate. You're next.
Jersey boy. I'm just saying, can I go next because I'm actually at work? So I had to just.
I've got your plans ready.
Just let me go because I have to go back in a sec.
I was only kidding about Thiago, by the way. I was just doing that. I was only joking about that.
Would you agree with 7.25?
Probably, yeah, but I'd give Trent a higher mark.
You've got Bobby, Fabinho, and Neco Williams.
Really? I thought you were gonna give me Nat Phillips, but it's fine. It's fine.
He's already got a 10, mate. He's already got a 10. Don't worry.
I did it on purpose. Obviously, I've got someone else's perspective.
All right. So I mean, for me, Firmino hasn't been, obviously hasn't been on form for a lot of the season, but he's come up clutch for Liverpool in so many games this season. And that's one thing I feel is very underrated, because he scored some big goals, especially along the stretch to the top 4 run. But I also remember that winner against Spurs, that last minute winner when we had the fans and he scored the header from the corner. It doesn't look the same all the time when Firmino doesn't play with the front three, because he really does link up the play well when he's playing well, obviously. When he's not playing well, it goes south pretty quickly. But overall, I'm a very generous rater, by the way.
Yeah, so, that's the thing. We all have different metrics on how we
yeah. And I believe that the whole team wasn't good at some point, and so I'll probably give Firmino a 7. Who's the next player?
Fabinho.
Oh, he's definitely my player of the season. He had to play center back for a lot of the games, and he was right up there as one of the top center backs in the league while he was playing center back with so many different partners, Neco and Rhys. And then when he goes back into midfield, he probably had maybe 2 off games. But his standard is so high, man, and so we judge him. We judge him really hard because he set a high bar, and so he's just electric in that midfield, and him and Thiago with that partnership all bodes well for Liverpool going forward. So Fabinho, he gets a 9.5. He's my player of the season.
Yeah.
And the last one is Neco Williams. I don't even remember a game Neco Williams played.
What are you doing out of 10 for Fabinho?
9.5. 9.5.
9.5, nice. Okay. And Neco next. Yeah, Neco Williams.
I honestly don't remember a game Neco Williams played.
He got an assist against Ajax. He got assist against Ajax.
Because we're doing Champions League, right? Well, this is Champions League.
And he played against Brighton as well.
Yeah,
and Fulham.
I'll probably give Neco a standard 5 just because I can't remember. I remember the assist to Curtis Jones, but that's probably about it.
Oh my God, Demo, that's so harsh. Oh
my I really don't remember the games. I just remember the Ajax game. I really don't remember.
Honestly.
Fair enough. I can't remember the game.
I would have given him a 6, but do you know what? He's not good enough to be a Liverpool. He's a backup right back, and he's not good enough to be the backup right back. So.
Yeah, and a lot of times he comes on as a substitute. He plays like right wing.
He needs to go out on loan. He needs to go out on loan. He needs to get games because he doesn't look confident enough when he's playing.
On loan.
Yeah, so that's
give him the Preston, and then Van der Berg can play centre back, and then they can get Neco right back.
Nah, he's good. But that's it for me, guys. I have to go back to work. Buzzing that we made the top 4. I'm actually not well at the moment.
You already knew, Demo. You already knew, mate. You called it 3 weeks ago.
Well, Demo's happy. He's got a free Liverpool shirt coming as well.
Yeah, I'm just not 100%. But big up to you guys. Continue to like and share. Bless them.
Yeah,
bro. Take care, bud.
Okay, Conroy, you're next, mate.
You've got
some interesting players.
Wait, hold on. Ryan, did Ryan finish his? I don't remember.
No, Ryan finished.
Yeah, I finished.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Conroy, you've got Rhys Williams, Shaqiri, and Matip.
Oh, brilliant.
Ooh.
See, I'd probably give. How many games did Matip play this season? What, maybe 10 to 15 games?
15 games, yeah, at least.
I would. My memory might be letting me down, but I'd probably give Matip a 7.5 or an 8 because when he actually did play, he's the second best defender in the club. That's simple. He's a very underrated defender in general. He is a brilliant defender. He's like built in this weird body shape, but he's just outstanding. I think he actually got injured because he challenged Son against Tottenham, and that's how he got injured. The guy's class. I'd probably give him a 7.5. Just because I can't remember off the top of my head how many games he played. So I'd give him a 7.5.
690 minutes.
How many games is that then?
So that's like 8, basically.
I think he's always Matip's always class. He's just not fit enough, or he isn't fit enough.
True. I don't remember him having one bad game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
he was just.
But he's told them he can't play. He's told them he can't play Klopp style of football for years, but they won't. He's told them he needs to move on. So I know I love Matip.
Is he going to go?
He will go. I think
he's got to go, man.
This season,
the crisps.
Yeah, one of the most underrated defenders, though, 100%. A lot of football snobbery towards Joe Matip's a superb defender. So Rhys Williams, do you know what? I'm going to give.
Be careful here, because you might round me up.
No, I don't think he's had a good season, but I'm going to be fair to him. See, if you look at numbers and you look at papers, he's got a away win at Tottenham. Sorry, no, it beat Tottenham at home. He was in that game. Old Trafford away, Premier League. He's been in that game, right? Last 2 games, Burnley away. He played actually quite okay. A few mistakes over the season. I'm going to be generous because everyone thinks I'm always negative. I'm going to give him a 5.7. I'm going to give him a 6 actually. I'm going to give him a 6 because you know what? Yesterday he was quite pivotal with a goal that got us into Champions League because he wins the flick on the header and he does it. He's playing massively out his depth. I don't think there's many examples ever that a player would play for Kidderminster and then be in the champions of the previous season, the current champions at that time, playing for them. I'm not making excuses for the guy, but he's massive at his depth. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give him a 6. You might say give him a 5, but I don't think, you know what, him and Nat have stepped up the last. It's probably been Nat more than him, but he's been there. You can rate him what you want, but see, at the end of the day, he can say he got a Liverpool team in the Champions League, and there's not many players can say that, and you can never take that away from him. So I'm going to give him a 6. And Shaq, well, probably the best left foot in the team, easily best left foot in the team. Technically a brilliant player, just not played enough. He actually did have a spell when he came off the bench a few times in the Champions League. He played like the kind of Iniesta ball, the ball before the assist, quite a few times this season. But only because he didn't play a lot, I'd probably give Shaq I'd give him a 6.5 on the basis of a few times he did play a few pivotal passes, but he just never played enough this season. So I'd give Shaq a 6.5.
Remember West Ham? He came on West Ham, plays as a cam, a 10. And he's
good point. He got the assist. Yeah, he did. Do you know what? I'll give him a 7 then because he did have he gave the assist to Salah with the first touch. He did. He was good in that game, even though the diamond didn't work in that game. We scored 3 goals on the break, but everyone said the diamond didn't work that game. It's true.
I remember that first half we were terrible.
Aye, but this is what I mean. This is what fans do. They just agendas constantly. But no, it's so that's it for me, guys. Fair enough. I know like Daz is saying a 7. Daz, you would say that though, because you're the most optimistic person in the world. Like, but at the end of the day, we've got to judge it for a season, and I think a 6 or 6.5 is fair enough. You know what? Give him a 6.5. I'm feeling good. Give him a 6.5.
I'd say no more than a 6. That's just
he didn't have one bad game. He made mistakes. That I would expect for a Kidderminster level defender. But you know what? He might get a move now. He actually might get a career out of football that he doesn't have to work after it. So good luck to the guy.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So you've got one more player, Conroy, but we'll do 3 and then we come back. Stephen, you've got your few interesting. Your first few are interesting. Mane, Jota, Jones.
Oh, I've got really good ones here. I'm gonna start with Mane first. I know Curve, if people disagree with me, this is the truth. This is based on the whole season. Like I don't know whether to give him a 5 or a 6. If I'm being honest with you, because he's not.
Maybe a 6 because of yesterday, Stephen. Maybe because of yesterday. He was quite good yesterday.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll give him a 6 because of some goals he scored to help us. Like yesterday, he actually scored all.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I
think a 6 because. But what I think by Mane, is it's just a bit surprising that he hasn't lived up to the standards this season of how he was for the past few seasons, and you sort of question why, because Mane and Salah.
Because he's knackered. Because he's been playing for 3 years constantly.
I get, but like you expect him. Salah's played a lot of minutes too, so you have to expect Mane to sort of pick his game up a wee bit.
Yeah, but
listen,
well, Steve, Salah's played 1 year less as well. Mane's played 1 year longer, and also they're different types of players. Salah's always looking for the ball through, and Mane's more of a ball carrier. But you know what? They both dribble. But Sadio Mane, I thought was the most hot and cold player when we signed him, and he's actually been the most consistent player for the last 3 years. So he's entitled to have a bad season. All these haters out there are going to say sell him. Delusional. Not you, Stephen. But there's people. I don't understand that.
No, I'm not going to sell him. I'm not
No,
selling
not
him.
you.
What
Not
I'm
you,
saying
mate.
is he
Not
hasn't
you.
had-
Not you, mate. Not you.
But all I'm saying is he hasn't had a good season. Like,
No,
I'm
he's
giving him
not.
a
He's
six, just because I'm getting him on the lines of how some goals he has scored to help us out. But I think Mane has to sort of improve.
Worst season in his career. Worst season in his
career.
career. 100%.
Oh yeah, and if he wants to convince me next season about
what was
he wants
Firmino?
to, like, sort of convince me next season that if he wants to stay at this club, then he has to.
There's no way Firmino had a better season than Sadio. There is absolutely no way. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not true. It's completely not true.
Percy, I would have given Bobby a 5.
I'm sorry. We need to start looking at. We can't be just looking at basic.
Finn's stirring the pot. Finn's stirring the pot.
Finn, I don't understand that, bro. I just don't understand that. We need to stop looking.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, Joe. Don't listen to him. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's trying to wind me up. I think with Sadio, we're just looking at little moments, and we're looking at recent stuff, and we're looking at stats. Do you remember in the mid part of the season? Okay, firstly, hold on. The first part of the season, I don't think anyone that bad, and Sadio actually was pretty fine first third of the season. There was no one really talking about him playing badly. I don't think there was much talk about anyone playing badly. The only attacker I thought that was playing pretty poor was kind of Firmino, because he really wasn't kind of getting into his groove. Sadio really was actually fine. He had some excellent games. I mean, namely the Chelsea away game is just the one example. He came up in clutch moments in the first half of the season pretty well, I thought, and his performances and assists were pretty good. Just looking at stats there. But do you not remember in the middle of the season, it was actually Sadio Mane who was actually our most creative player in a lot of the games. Salah went through a rut in the middle of the season as well. So when we had that rut, it was actually Sadio that was looking the most dangerous. So, like, in terms of performance, I genuinely think his performances in that mid part of the season were actually one of the better performances compared to anyone. I don't know if I really don't think I'm chatting that much shit here. I genuinely think so. I mean,
hold on. Well,
games we lost at home, it was Sadio. When we couldn't score, it was Sadio that was our main source of it.
His end product's been so poor, Joe, this season. Like, you can look at stats all you want, but
I'm trying to look at like the whole package. And yet, I mean, like, yeah, he doesn't really have the stats to back it up, but he's never really been. He's a winger. He's like, oh, God forbid he doesn't get 20 goals. He's still a winger.
I agree, Joe. I don't look at stats. The eye test. He's just been poor this season. His confidence is shot. He beats a man. He doesn't shoot anymore.
I think his confidence has actually got worse towards the end of the season. Even though we were actually winning games, I actually think he's played worse in the last few games than he actually did before. That's just my observation. That was my observation.
His decision making's gone, mate. It's gone right now. Yeah, it's very.
I
genuinely think
the last few games were much worse than previous games, but he somehow still managed to chip in with a few goals and stuff like that. To me, he was playing a bit like Salah. Actually,
I think what needs to improve on Mane's game is his sort of attitude at the moment. If you remember, Man United, him had a wee bit of a scrap with Klopp at the end, but I think he sort of grew out of it for the last 2 games. I think if Mane can get out of that situation very quickly, then I believe he can kick on next season. But what I'm basing on this season is he hasn't sort of done the sort of goals he has done in the previous seasons. But but because of what happened in the last few games, I'm gonna give him a 6 overall. I think that's
yes, Finn.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
One Finn.
How we doing, lads? Nice to see you all.
It's good, man.
All right, so it's Finn's turn to sit here. Actually, no, sorry, no, we'll go with. I haven't finished the Stephen side. Stephen,
carry on. The money one's always going to. Look, if I'm on the show and money is getting.
No, I haven't finished. No.
Carry on.
That's
Sorry,
and you finish Mane. We finished Mane, right? So now you've got Jota and Jones.
Mane's finished at Liverpool jersey. What are you trying to say,
No.
mate? Mane's finished.
What?
Just in time for me to join.
No.
Don't put words in my mouth.
What's going on?
Only joking,
What's
mate.
going on? Right.
Jota next.
Yeah.
Jota and Jones.
Yeah, out of all the players that we've tried to sign for the backup for Mane and Salah, Firmino, it's been sort of like Shaqiri's been like sort of hasn't been getting the goals, but Reggie's sort of been doing all right, but he's sort of like didn't get enough goals to rotate. I think when Jota's come in, I think he's had a great season. Coming in, remember the goals he scored in the early part of the season before he got injured. I think if he would not have got injured, he would have scored more goals than what he
13 goals,
did,
13 goals. Very
before
good.
he did. Imagine the goals now.
Yeah, with 3 months out as well.
13 goals in all competitions. Oh yeah, definitely.
Take that.
I think he would if he wouldn't have had that injury. I think he would have scored more goals than what he was. So I'm going to give Jota, I think, a sort of 8.9 out of 10 for me because he's had a great season in terms of his first season for Liverpool, especially when he came off the bench. So
super
yeah, I think Jota's been he's been one of my.
I think that's fair, mate. Yeah, that's fair.
Super sub. Exactly, super sub. I mean, it's I've got Jota. I think only Jota will get better next season. So that's me 9 out of 10. I think it's one of my player of the seasons.
Fair enough, mate.
Curtis
and Jones, Curtis Jones. Yeah, he had. I think him coming through into the first team has been really great to see in terms of his progression. I think under Klopp and him surrounding the team and all, like players like Anderson, picking him up and all that sort of stuff to help him grow. But I think what's down at the end of the season is sort of his sort of lack of continuing to play well. I think, and I think of basing this on the whole season from the first part of the season into the second part of the season for Jones. I think I would give Jones. I think I'd give him his first season maybe a 7 out of 10. Like it wasn't bad, but I think there are certain elements of his game that he has to improve on. But if he's only 20 years old or something like that, he'll only improve more. So as the seasons go by, so I think he's had a mixed season. So I'm sticking with a 7 out of 10.
Okay, Finn, you're next. Because what we're gonna do is everyone's had 4 or 5 players. I've done 3 for everyone. Will you just come? I'm going to do 4, and then the other ones will get back to their 2. So you've got Keita, Chamberlain, Milner, and VVD.
Okay. Keita, a solid 5. I don't want to see him at our club next season. Honestly, I do not want to see him at our club next season.
Yeah.
Right. There's no potential for a loan deal. He's past the age now where we could theoretically get a bit of money back by loaning him out, putting him in the shop window. I just hope there's potential suitors. I've heard that Atletico are interested, Leicester City are interested. I mean,
watch how he goes to someone else and stays fit for the whole season.
Problem with Keita is that he has been injured prior to this Chris Morgan and this whole debacle of the physios coming into the club this year. So I think that you can remove Keita from this situation and say that it's not just this season that has caused Keita to be so injury prone. I mean, for me, send him to Bayern Munich, beef him up, and maybe he'll get some game time. But I think it's just it's too much of a gamble for us to
see. I think you could sell him, Finn, right now. I think you could sell him. You're not going to make the money back. We all know that. But I think you could sell him now. Atletico just won the league. Leicester, obviously, 5th place, got a bit of money in as well. So you sell him now, you might make, 35 mil if you're lucky. 35 mil, possibly. Maybe 30 mil.
I think Torreira is going to go back to Arsenal from loan, and he's a holding midfielder. He's been at
Is Keita a holding midfielder, though? This is the question, because I thought Naby Keita was a break-the-press midfielder who could dribble by and be dynamic.
Well, this is exactly how he was portrayed to us when we came across to buy him in. I mean, but he's developed as an athlete now. I think his body shape is more developed. I think now he's aged a little bit more. He's kind of found his footing. I think he is malleable enough to be moved into a different role. I mean, you've seen it with Henderson over the years. I mean, Henderson started as a CA.
That's a waste of talent, Finn, though. The thing is, the guy was meant to be a game changer in football and not just like another like DMs are great, don't get me wrong, but if you're saying he goes to just recycle play and break stuff up, I just feel like such a waste. I actually feel sorry for Naby Keita, but you need to sell him. You need to try and make some money. You're never going to make the 60 mil. Yeah. It's just not worked out at all.
No way, yeah. I think we'll be lucky
enough, mate. The loan move might help.
Yeah, I mean, is he too late in his career now for us to loan him out? I mean, I think he's still got 3 years left on his contract. So if we loan him out, we've still got 2 years on his contract. And
what age is Keita? He's not quite young though. Is he still not only like
24, 25? I thought
that's still pretty young. That's still pretty 26, 27. Still pretty young. He's still got another move in him for a potentially.
Yeah. He's definitely got another move, another 4 or 5 year contract.
No, I don't mean like
26,
30, but he can still have a resurgence in his career somewhere. He could still be. There'll be some team who'll take a chance in Keita, 100%.
He needs to be going into a team where there's not so much pressure. And with Klopp specifically, we can't rely on injury players. Like Klopp likes to use 14 players a season at most. So having Keita in that squad where it's very thin at the best of times, I think he needs to go into a broader pool of players and where the pressure's been taken off of him. But yeah, for this season alone, I'd give him a 5, maybe a 4. It's 4.5 or a 5 for me. He's really unimpressed.
Let's do 4.5. And then the next
but that being said as well, it's because of what we expected out of him and what the club portrayed him to achieve whilst at Liverpool. I mean, had we not been sold the dream and had we brought him in for 25 million, like the same price as Mane, it would have been different conversation completely. But I think because we laid out so much money on him, I feel like unfortunately he's got to deal with the repercussions.
Throw him away, guys, man. He gets Steven Gerrard number and messed up the number, bro. Throw him away, bro. I don't think him.
Demo's comment as well. Demo's comment's very valid as well. That first half was. Don't even want to relive that.
Listen, need to throw him away, man.
Yo, Oxlade. Do you know what? I think he's had a very for the time that he's been available for us and for the game. The 10 minutes he came on against Wolves, he was fantastic. The 10 minutes he came on against Burnley, fantastic. But the thing is, I was going to say this about Jones as well. I think Jones has had a terrible season. He started emphatically and he has dropped off due to lack of game time. He has dropped off. In the game against West Brom, I think he's for the tail end of the season, it has been diabolical. We've seen nothing.
He's not played though. He's hardly played towards the end.
That's what I'm saying. He's carrying no form. And he's just playing diabolically. Like he couldn't get into the game against. I don't care. I would happily be harsh on him. Geezer's 21 years old. I want to see him go out on loan next season. I don't want to see him next season. What? Yeah, Jones.
Jones is all getting past.
Listen to this, yeah. We got Thiago. We got Henderson. We got Fabinho. Yeah, we got 3 holding midfielders. We got money coming in. We're going to be getting rid of Genie. I want a number 10. I don't want Jones to be. I don't want us to experiment with Jones. From the first game he ever played for us, he pinged a goal in against Everton, yeah? That's what I want to see from Jones. I don't want to see none of this holding midfield. I want to see Jones used either as a creative midfielder or send him out on loan.
But do you not remember the Sheffield United
38 games?
Sheffield United game, he stepped up. Mane, Salah, they didn't step up the game, he stepped up. So we had to win that game, he stepped up.
Bottom of the season with 19 goals.
We lost 6 games at home to Burnley, West. We couldn't beat Burnley, West Brom, Everton. Let's not talk about league positions this year because we've lost to a lot of teams. We couldn't beat Fulham.
They've been consistently poor, though. Is my point.
No, but what I'm saying is,
I'm going to use an analogy, yeah, that Drifty likes to use, and it's sometimes the sun shines on a dog's arsehole, and honestly,
I can't believe this. Jones has been good.
I'm not a fan.
Giving him a 7. He's been good.
I think he's dropped off.
Finn, in my opinion, I'm not saying Jones has been unbelievable by any stretch. I think in some games he's been fairly solid. I think he's
developed. Is my main point.
This is crazy. No. I think he's been one of the best players this season. Like he's had more games played well than Thiago. He's had more impact. Honestly, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't
believe this.
I've not rated him. The first half of the season, he was getting opportunities, but that was because Thiago was out, and that was because other players were not available. Let's just not forget that.
He got pass marks when he played. He played well.
He did play well a lot of the time.
at the start of the season. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the season, he's been lacking opportunity. I don't know if you guys, Jersey Boy, will know. He got sent off against. I can't remember what team it was for the under-21 England game. He got sent off, and he's rarely featured since that problem. Is it a disciplinary issue?
But that's because
you can't use that against him, though. That's like me saying.
Is he training well?
You've just said because he's not the time to play. It's the same with Jones, though.
How can Ox train well and Naby Keita train well, but Jones not feature in the second half of the season? I'm talking about the here and now. Forget what he's done in the first half of the season. Form continues. I mean, if we were talking about the first half of the season, Mane's had a fantastic season.
Right, but Finn, let's stick this. Fair enough, maybe the anger thing or the respect, maybe, I don't think there's been much came out about that, but on paper, Jones is 100% been one of the best players we've had this season. Like, for the games he's played, there's about 8 players who've... But how... The only good users, honestly, the goggles are on for the last couple of games.
I'm not saying I don't have a negative view on Jones at all. I think he's going to develop, and I think he is on an upward progression. I think he's been fairly good, reasonably good this season in some of the games he's played. Some bad games, some really good games. For me,
name the bad games, though. Name the bad games. Name the bad games. West Brom, one mistake. That's all he's talking about.
I will name the bad games.
Go.
I mean, he played against Man City at home. He wasn't pretty good. He played against Leicester, home to Everton.
Leicester, that I was going to suggest.
Those are the three. But I'm not like.
And every one of these games is when the team was terrible, though. So you're picking on a young player because the team plays terrible in that game.
But we're analysing their individual season.
I'm analysing.
He's had a good season. No, this is unbelievable. It comes on against West Ham.
I'm not saying he's had a bad season. I didn't say the word bad. I think he's had a fairly decent season. That's just me on Jones.
See, when we were terrible every week, there was 3 players who got pass mark: Jota, Fabinho, and Curtis Jones. Honestly, the recency bias is absolutely unbelievable. Not early, Finn. This was mid through way for the season. This is
he's had a couple of games where he's our best player.
From January onwards, we have been absolutely diabolical until somehow
he was good in those games, though. So a 21-year-old was good in those games.
It doesn't matter how good you play. If you're not decisive, you're a creative midfielder.
This is an individual player rating. This is an individual player rating. So his individual season has been good.
This has nothing to do with Jones, though. For me, this has nothing to do with Jones. That's just it. He's only 20 years old. You can't just.
I think he needs to develop personally.
But you want Harvey Elliott. Same fans want Harvey Elliott to jump back in the team because he got the same stats as Harry Wilson.
I want Harry Wilson back. How can you power off Harry Wilson to Cardiff? He's gone out and scored goals.
We agree on that, Finn. We agree on that, Finn. But I just think Jones has proved he can play. Yeah, but Jones has proved he can play in the Premier League, though.
He can play in the Premier League, but I want him to get 38 matches and come back to us. I don't want to see him play 15 matches and potentially ruin our European title hopes of pushing for Europe.
The thing is, what Conroy is saying, I agree. I think he is Premier League proven.
Maybe that's a fair shout.
I think he's conducted himself pretty well in most of the games. I'm not saying he's been brilliant. I'm not saying he's been crap. I'm down the middle on Jones. I think the best thing for us is to ensure we have depth next season in the midfield. If we're getting rid of Genie, if Oxlade-Chamberlain's unreliable, if we're selling Keita, then 100% we have to keep Jones. Now, I agree with your point, Finn. I don't potentially know his best position to be. I don't think any of us know.
He seems like he midfielder.
He seems like he's had a bit of a defensive role as well this season because he hasn't.
But that's due to injuries. It's not through choice. You don't put Henderson in centre back, do you? If you've got a fully fit squad, it's the same with Jones.
So you're saying
he's an attacking midfielder, 100%. He's not a defensive midfielder at all.
I think he's a bit of
his attributes reflect that.
No, I'm not saying he's defensive. He plays a bit of a Genie role, to be honest, because Genie is an all-round player. Curtis Jones...
That has been developed into him this season alone. Prior to this season, coming through the youth squad, through the England under-21 setup, he's an attacking player. That's where he is deployed at England under-21. So for me, I don't want to see his ball retention being great. We've got Henderson, we've got Milner, we've got Fabinho, we've got Thiago. That's for them to perfect them qualities. His role in the Liverpool squad should be attacking midfield.
Did you not think he could do that next season then?
Well, scored in the Champions League as well, by the way, guys. Scored in the Champions League group stage 1 against Ajax. Just add that.
I appreciate that. He did score. He did. But the thing is, when he is put into them positions, he does excel. But when we've got lack of coverage and lack of depth behind, you put him in to just paper up the cracks. If we had a fully fit squad, how many games do you think he would have featured in this season? Do you really think he would have had a breakthrough season as much as
Nathaniel Klein doesn't get injured? Trent never makes it in this Liverpool team. That's football, mate. You need to just take your chances when they come. It's like academies are businesses to sell, not to bring players into a team. I don't know why we don't in general. It's once in a blue moon. You don't make academy to bring first team players. You do it to sell. We literally sold Brewster for 25 million, and that should show that that's what academies are. They're businesses. Makes the club money. Like Trent and Jones are anomalies. They're anomalies. That's not going to happen a lot. That's not.
Brewster, Sterling, Ibe.
But even Ibe's a good shout as well.
Sterling was 700 grand. We shot him for 50 million.
There's no chance in hell I think we should get rid of Jones at all. No way.
We should loan him out. I think he needs to have a full season in the Premier League. Imagine he went to Watford or he went to Norwich or a team that's getting promoted. Imagine, all right, for instance, imagine Arsenal buy Buendia from Norwich. That gives Curtis Jones the ideal opportunity to slot in alongside Todd Cantwell behind Timu Pukki. There's a plethora of options, and I really think, imagine he came back and he scored like 10 goals and he was just ineligible to play against us.
But what about if he comes? Okay, let's say he does that, yeah.
That's what we done with Harry Wilson. He went to Bournemouth, and he had a very indifferent season.
Let's say we do that, yeah. Let's say we do that. Then
scored 7 goals that season, Harry Wilson. Scored 7 goals again. That's not true. 7 goals.
Player.
Let's say we do that.
Top player.
Let's say we do that, yeah. You're saying let's say if we do loan out Jones, yeah, this season, and then he comes back the following season, so supposedly gets better. Why? So you're making the assumption that he'll still get into the team the following season. For me, I'd still stick with the midfield of Henderson, Thiago, or Fabinho as my first choice. So what difference would a season in the Premier League make?
Yeah, but when you can't, if that's your midfield, you can't ask that you want a number 9 striker because we're playing with 3 holding midfielders. There's no one to create the play. So you can't say it with your chest and say we need a number 9 because there needs to be some sort of creativity coming through in the midfield, because this season our midfield creativity has declined ridiculously. I would love for somebody to pull up the statistics in the Premier League alone that how much goals came from our midfield and creativity.
Yeah, no, very poor. That's an obvious point. But my point is, I just don't think it would. I just don't see the need for loaning Jones. Jones can do that creative role this season. If Thiago gets injured or Henderson gets injured, it's very likely Jones can come and operate more creatively. I think our best system, obviously, is when we have that 3 midfielders with Robert and Trent being more advanced. But you make a point. Should we carry on with that midfield of Fabinho? It's an unbelievable midfield, but is there much creativity there? Who knows?
Well, in that layout, it would most likely be Thiago is the most forward player, and then you'd have Henderson.
Even though actually we've seen Thiago behind deep quite a lot, so maybe it isn't the best midfield. Maybe it wouldn't work because Thiago's actually come deep really a lot recently. Have you seen Fabinho?
He has
go forward quite more often, and Fabinho forward is terrible. I'm sorry, he can't do anything in the attacking spaces. That's not Fabinho's game at all. So look, I'd keep Jones 100%. He can definitely have a role in various competitions. We need the depth next season. We've got a challenge on all competitions. Yeah. No way.
Jones, it's about weighing up my main point is about weighing it up as it's a business, right? If you can say with chest, we're going to send out Jones on loan to a newly promoted team. He's going to play 30 out of the 40 games available, all the cup games. He's going to be a senior player in that squad, guaranteed game time to develop his style. Come back to a team full of elite players with all of this newfound knowledge. It's not the strangest thing that I would have heard.
But no, then how? I just don't think it'll happen.
No, agreed. I think it won't happen because I think this season he's had the opportunity to attempt to prove himself in the squad.
But I think he has proved himself, mate. This is what I think me and Steve are saying. It's horses for courses in the sense of like we're all glorifying Thiago, who's a world-class baller, but has been underwhelming and underperformed. And you're being too nice to Thiago. He's European champion midfielder, Champions League midfielder of the year, and he came in and he was off it. So
he was crap. I'm not gonna lie,
that's his standard. That's his standard here. Curtis Jones comes out academy.
He made in his Liverpool debut, he gave away a penalty.
He's having better games, so he's had better games this season, or he's been more like, you know. And I just feel like it's one energy for Thiago, who will be amazing, but the same energy needs to go for Jones in the season he's had, where he's came from.
I think Jones has been marginally better than Thiago. However,
then surely you should have like 8 or 9 out of 10 season in the sense Thiago's been very poor, but for a young player to come in the team and perform,
I think Thiago in the last 5 or 6 games has defined his season.
Yeah,
really.
that's why.
Especially, I think the game against Leipzig in the first leg, he kind of started this upward trajectory of feeling comfortable in the team. Yeah. I think since that game, he has really settled in.
Yeah, he'll be amazing, but we all know he's going to be amazing. Just let's stop giving him overdue credit when it's like he is a great midfielder. So see, when he shows he's great, he should show us he's great. Do you know what I mean? It's
Conroy, you're right. But then I guess we're basing Thiago's recent excellence off his perhaps subpar ability in the.
It's balanced itself out. Yeah.
It has balanced itself
how many games are in a season? How many games he's played this season? Half of them he's been poor. So I think
Thiago, after his injury, I think out of the 23 games or the 23 last Premier League games, he's played 22 of them.
Right, so in the last 7 games he's played well. Jones, I think, is 80% of his games has played well this season. He's played with 24 games. So
I think
Jones had a better season.
More than last few games. It's more than his last few games.
He's exaggerating. He'll be amazing, Thiago, right? He will be, but let's be honest. He's meant to be amazing. So it's like when he gets to that standard,
he comes with all the accolades. You can't lean on a player. Say you've won all of these divisions, you've played for Barcelona, you've played for Munich, and you're very decorated. You can't come in and have poor performances the way he came in. I'm sorry. It's inexcusable.
I mean, hold on. I think that's a bit harsh. He came in. He was actually originally pretty good. He got a big injury.
Mate, his first game, he gave away a penalty and got booked. How can you tell me he was great?
That was one moment. You're just highlighting one error in that game. He actually had the most number of passes in that game. Everyone
against 10 men in a second half. Though. This is what I mean. We just change it for our agenda.
What you're just
never me.
What do you mean, never? You're just saying Thiago didn't have a good debut because he gave away a pen, but he came on
terribly.
No, he was
decent. I think he picked up a booking every single game in his first 6 games for Liverpool.
But we're talking about the first game. The first game against Chelsea, he was fine. He bought that 45 minutes. He came on. Then he played against Everton. He was fine. Then he had the injury. Okay. He had the injury. I'm just looking at his stats here. Then he had the injury, and then he came on in a few sub games, kind of bad. But then obviously, I'm not denying his first few games.
He did have COVID though, where credit is given. Right, he had COVID and he had a severe injury.
Yeah, it took time to get involved and stuff, and it was a bit dodgy.
I'm not going to be a dickhead. Excuse my French. I'm not going to be an idiot
before the watershed, Finn.
Sorry, guys.
But I understand. 1 minute you're saying not a depth, and the next minute you're saying, okay, it's an injury and a COVID. He's allowed to have a bad.
But just been okay. He's just been okay. Let's stop getting gassed so quickly. It's like he's been okay. Do you know what I mean?
Thiago or Jones?
Thiago, he's meant to be unbelievable, right? He is a great player. So let's see, because he has a couple of good games. He's going to maybe it's because I know Thiago's going to be amazing next season. He's just taking a year to adapt. And that's fair enough. But it's not an excuse to take a year. It's just he's not been good enough this year in certain games. Yeah. But he will be, and it's fine. But Jones has had a better season because Jones went from being an academy player, you know.
Look, lads,
I just think Thiago.
No, to put this pressure on a 20-year-old like Jones is you can't do it in your first season. You base this on a second season or a third season if you continue this form. That's just reality.
Jersey, sorry, mate. Sorry, Jersey.
I need to make this point here, Jersey. I need to make this point here. Jones will improve. I believe Jones will improve. He's only 20 years old. He will improve his game.
I'm so confident with that. I don't really know.
Would I take Jones over Naby Keita? Yes, I would, because Naby Keita has underperformed, and Jones has done much better than him. And I think that's it going forward. If we keep Jones around, he'd do no more better than what Naby Keita does.
Mate, if a plank of wood was fit and eligible to be picked, he would still be better than Keita, right? So this is my point. I agree with your point, yeah, but there are better players at Liverpool's target that will play for Liverpool than Jones
Clip
is
that
at
up.
present.
Clip that up. Clip that up. That was brilliant. Clip that
It's
up.
true, though. It's true. It's true because at the end of the day, yeah, if we should be attracting massive players, the likes of Thiago, the likes of Fabinho, right? So
but that's not how we work. I know that.
No, we're very lucky in the sense that Trent has come through the academy. We're lucky that Jones has come through the academy. But for me, it wasn't Jones's time. The only reason we played Jones is due to our injury crisis. He most likely would have gone out on loan, the same as Minamino did, the same as other players did this season, had we had more depth in our side. Guaranteed, hands down, because Klopp likes to give the... Look at Phillips. Phillips has gone out on loan. He's come back and look what he's done for us.
No, fair point. I think we need to stop now because I think Jersey's going to have a heart attack at this rate.
Sorry, Jersey.
I'm going to knock my laptop soon.
Just going to close the lid.
Before I ask Finn about Chamberlain, we've got update from Fabrizio about Kanate. He said Liverpool will complete the signing of Kanate from Liverpool from Leipzig confirmed. So we should get here we go in the next by tonight, hopefully. So Chamberlain.
Even though we've never seen Kanate.
I do agree though, Finn. Every time Chambers played false 9 this season, he's actually played really good.
I genuinely think do you know what it is? He's very, like, as mad as it is, he's a robust person that is not very robust, if that makes sense. Like, he is built like a tank, right? And we've all seen it.
No, he's physically robust, like he's strong as anything, but his body injured all the time.
Yeah, it gives up on him, and it's always going to be the way of his career. I mean, going through Arsenal, going through that, it's always going to be. You're going to have niggles, you're going to have like hitches, you're going to have setbacks, right? But the thing is, had he been more available, I think he would have been more important to us this season. It's just his injury record.
There you go. You can see there. He'll join Liverpool. Personal terms agreed since April 2026. Here we go soon. Obviously, I don't think we're going to go buy Kabak because
I don't think we need to.
Good and
no.
Just don't see the point in it.
We don't need to. We really don't need him.
No, we don't.
But Kanate's a good signing. We don't need Kabak.
I actually reckon Kanate will take one out in shirt number.
What, number 8? Number 5, sorry. Yeah, that's a shout, to be fair. Could be.
So who's the full centre backs then?
What's your rating out of 10, Finn?
For Ox?
Yeah.
For Ox, I mean, had he featured... it's a difficult one because he's not been available, but for the games he has played, I'd give him a 6. I'd give him a strong average 6.
That goal probably got him a higher mark the other night, didn't it? It probably did, yeah.
Vice captain, Mr. 7, Old Man Milner.
No, look, Chamberlain's played 243 minutes. Like, seriously.
A 6.
He's been really...
All right. Chamberlain has played 243 minutes and got the same amount of Premier League goals as Curtis Jones.
But it's not all about stat. Like, Jones has played well. We know that.
Jones has played well.
But it's about how effective you are and how you implement that. They're both.
I could say Bobby Firmino's got more open play goals than Bruno Fernandes, right?
He has,
but I wouldn't try and use that argument and say that means he's a better season for Fernandes. That's what I mean. It's like stats are really everything.
If you stuck Bobby on penalties, he probably would have scored more goals than Fernandes.
No, come on, guys, let's not do that. Bruno Fernandes has been superb this season. Come on.
No, I agree. But then I think we're very harsh critics of our own team.
No, because they've been poor this season. They've been pish this season for a lot of it, and
that's what happens. That's what happens when your Titanic £75 million defender gets ruled out for the majority of the season, and when
we're a system team. Then we'll rely on one player team. Then this is what I mean.
Well,
you go down that route.
No, not really though, because you've got multiple other players that have been absent, and then we've got obviously crisis. Like Alisson's dad died.
That's the cards you're dealt. That's your cards you're dealt, mate. That's the cards you're dealt.
And we proceeded to lose 6 home games. Do you think that's a coincidence? Right. Roughly at the same time as Klopp's mum passing away.
But what you meant to do about that though? Like, you can't go back in time. When it happens, it happens. You either make excuses or you get on with it. That's why they've got on with it and got Champions League.
It's purely circumstantial, and they've obviously got over their form. And then they've managed to charge.
Injuries were on the cards, guys. We never had a serious injury for 3 years. Let's be honest. The law averages there was going to be a big injury.
To be fair, we've ground to a halt like an old Dacia, like a 1990.
But then we found Nat Phillips. A diamond in the rough. Nat Phillips. the hero of Anfield.
If you think about it, if this injury never happened, Phillips will not be where he is now.
That's football, guys. That's what happens. Like, you get injuries is how you get a chance. Trent Alexander-Arnold will never play with Liverpool if Nathaniel Klein never got injured.
It's true, and that's my point. Maybe we could apply that to Curtis Jones next season. What happens if Henderson gets injured as well or something?
Henderson has been injured this season. So has Thiago. So has Fabinho. He has had time to go into the squad.
And he's done well, mate. He's done well.
And he's done all right.
He's done well.
I'm just letting you know that he has had the opportunity this season.
Okay,
and he's want to compete with Man City. We've got all the debt.
What happens if he has another opportunity next season? Surely, but then you said if he goes to Watford, or something like that, plays week in week out, he'll get really good. What happens if Henderson gets injured, has another few?
Recall him from loan.
But that's
an option. You can do that. You can recall your players.
I think Jones will stay just because.
So do I. I don't think he'll go. But I think the best thing for his career would be to look for an opportunity where he is not going to play under such intense pressure and develop his game. That is all.
What depth do we have? How can we win this number of trophies if we don't have any squad depth?
Because we got billionaire owners.
What? And what yes, these billionaire owners who have really gone out and spent their money from their own pockets since they've come into our club. Yes, sure. They're going to replace every player ever and ensure we're squad fit. Look, they didn't even spend properly when we won the Champions League. They're not going to do that. We can't just get rid of our squad players and bring some new players like that. I mean, come on, like FSG.
I don't think we can be very upset about bringing in Jota and Thiago. I don't think we can. I think that was
no, they're fine signings, but part. I mean, the narrative this season has partly been FSG are partly to blame because of the lack of squad depth that they've given us, and we know
Klopp plays with a small squad. It was circumstantial that we had as many injuries at one given time as we did. That was mainly.
And we can still make the argument our squad depth wasn't strong enough, and that partly FSG's fault. But the point is,
that's the way Klopp runs his team. So if FSG are going to get the blame, then Klopp also needs to take accountability and responsibility for that.
Of course. I mean, we've said the whole season, Klopp hasn't necessarily been on par and hasn't been sharp in a lot of moments. And sometimes he's been stubborn.
And that's what goes hand in hand with the fact that he has had the tragic.
But Jones has not ever been one of those ones that's made it a bad season, though. This is the point. It's like, give Klopp a centre-back. If Klopp said he doesn't want a centre-back, then Klopp's accountable. But they wanted the centre-back and they waited to the last day. Jones playing in midfield has not caused an issue for the Liverpool team. The lack of centre-back options have. So it's like Jones has filled in. Jones has done a job.
That's what I'm saying. He's filled in. He's an attacking midfielder that's had to play central midfield.
But do you think Trent Alexander-Arnold, after his first season, do you think he would have went on to do what he's done? So you can't just be amazing straight away. You need to be good and you need to build it up. So that's why I think Jones will keep playing. And I think he's got the arrogance to be a top player. But bear in mind, academy players are anomalies. We need to get this through. Right, academies aren't built for top 6 teams to get in. It's about a business. It's Chelsea doing that, right? Made no sense. Why the fans were angry that Lampard got sacked because he brought youth in. Why do you name top teams who bring youth in? We better not we're going on a tangent now, but basically,
Chelsea have done well with their youth, though. They have done well. Ordinarily, they just have a loan system, but when they
get bonus points for bringing youth players through, though. You get bonus points.
Finners, you still haven't addressed my point. So let's say Gini's leaving, right? We have Milner, who's not that reliable. We have Keita, who we might be selling. Why would we get rid of Jones when we need the depth in our midfield to be able to challenge for few trophies here and there?
So what's preventing us going out to buy a midfielder who's ready-made? We want ready-made. We're challenging for top titles. We're challenging.
Agreed. But you don't need to get rid of more players. We won't have enough players.
From getting ready-made players likes of Thiago, 30-year-old player. We bought him for £20 million.
I think we should be going for a creative midfielder here and there. But we know FSG. They don't do things they don't do things just like that. They're not City or Chelsea United go out and buy anyone.
I think we're going to be very surprised this season, this summer window. I think we're going to be quite surprised. I think we're going to be very happy. Now we've got third place. I feel like we're going to be happier than most fans may even believe.
Quickly, I'm gonna do my ratings.
We're all getting a zero. We're all getting a zero for tonight, Jersey. We're all getting a zero tonight, mate.
I'm not gonna rate you, lads. I'm not done. I'm rating players, man. I've put Keita 3 just because the guy literally, I think, is made of tissue paper. Like, we spent
It's true.
2 months rehabilitating this guy, and he gets another bloody hamstring. I think he needs to get metal hamstrings or something, because this guy, like, I bet you if he goes to Atletico, he'll be out the whole season. I've got Origi 5 out of 10 because he hasn't done much, and when he's been called upon, he hasn't scored and hit the crossbar against Burnley. And Van Dijk, I put 6 out of 10 because he still tried his best, and obviously sadly got nutcrackered by Pickford.
Don't know, man. That first game of the season against Leeds, they had 3 shots and we conceded 3 goals.
That's true.
He scored as well, though.
Defense of that.
He did.
But it was like every single time
defensively,
they would conceded.
I think the 7's more scary.
And that's another one. The 7-2 against Villa as well. Like, these were games that Van Dijk featured in.
There isn't really much need to rate Van Dijk this season. He has been.
Well, you have to put it into context. For the games in which he did feature, he wasn't excellent.
Yeah,
6.5.
I'm going to go 6, but I put Millie 7 out of 10. Just because the reason I put Milner 7 out of 10, right, is because Milner has been called upon and we've had no captains. He's been the one to lead the team, played left back, played right back, played wherever, and still put a shift every single time.
Yeah, no, Milner's been great.
I hope he stays if he retires, and then because of the coaching. Because I think he could really do something part of the Liverpool side.
Yeah, I agree, Jersey. I hope he does stay on at Liverpool as well. Like, I know obviously he's been a bit of a journeyman throughout his career, and he's obviously got very close ties with other setups. But when he does come to retire, I really hope he stays on at us because he is loyal. But
switch journeyman to absolute champion, mate. Like, genuinely, the guys won everything. So, like,
he was in the best Leeds team in that era, and then he progressed. Oh, he was in arguably the best Newcastle team that Newcastle had for years as well.
Three league titles.
No, let's stay on track. How many more ratings do we have to do?
Well, we've got 4 more. No, 3 more. Sorry, 3.
All right, Ryan, I want to hear your voice, bro. Do your ratings.
Okay, well, I'll do Ryan's ratings then. Ryan, you've got Phillips. Nat Phillips.
Demo's giving him a 10.
Listen.
We had this debate at the end of the show last stream. I had a big debate with Ryan and LFC for days about Nat Phillips. So, guys, you might be Ryan. Go on, give your views on Nat Phillips, Ryan. Go on.
Go on, Ryan.
Come on, Ryan. Come on, don't be afraid now. Come on.
All right. I said something yesterday and people bash me for it, but that's okay. But what I'm saying about Nat Phillips, he has done fantastic this season, and I really appreciate everything he has done for Liverpool. Wonderful season for Nat Phillips. But do we think he's good enough to be a Liverpool player? No. Do I think he should move on? Yes. Do I think he can become a 5th choice centre back? No. Reason why? I don't know if Van Dijk going to keep fit. I don't know if Gomez is going to break down. Don't know if Nat Phillips going to break down. I don't know. So I don't want to have Nat Phillips playing 25 games next season. Why I want Nat Phillips to play 25 games next season? The difference is, yes, he can play very good for us, try to make us make top 4, but for challenge for the Premier League title up against City. How do you guys feel about Nat Phillips play against Manchester City in the first game of the season?
All right, he played against them and drew 1-1 earlier in the season. So
listen, I think at this moment we can get.
He didn't play against Phillips. Didn't play against City.
Dead City, Etihad 1-1. He played.
No, the 1-1 we played Gomez and Matip at the back.
No, we didn't. Gomez was injured that game, so Phillips played.
No. The first game.
He came on, or he
didn't
played
play.
for 4. He did play. He did play against City. I'm
I'll
sure of
double
it.
check. I'll double check.
No,
I might be getting mixed up with Spurs, but I'm pretty sure he did play.
At Spurs in play. But I
Yeah,
think
Spurs. No, Gomez and Matip played against City.
what I think we should do, we shouldn't make the same mistake we made a few years ago with Divock Origi. He reached the prime. He set the bar very high. And then the next 2 seasons, he didn't do anything because Liverpool fans set the bar so high for him, and we don't want that to reach Nat Phillips. He's
a different position, Ryan.
Well, I know he's a very good defender, Conroy, but he's not good enough for Liverpool. He don't fit our style of play.
Right, so here we go. Burnley away, right? Burnley away. That's the best performance we've had at Burnley away, because funnily enough, we had a defender who could compete with those and just make it a battle, and it looked easy with Nat Phillips. So why not keep someone as your 4th, 5th centre-back, and when you go to West Brom away, Burnley away, those games that are just a midweek nightmare, I don't see why. Why would you sell him when to replace him, you're going to have to spend 20 million? Who knows Konate is going to play as well in the Premier League? How do you know Konate is going to play as well?
Conor, if you sell him for 15 million, they put 5 million per that and buy a Buckman. You have better centre back.
But Brian, why would Buckman want to come to Liverpool as a squad player?
Listen, Joe Gomez spat down ceiling this Liverpool team.
But Ryan, the point I made to you yesterday about Nat Phillips, he's Premier League proven this season. I genuinely think he's Premier League proven. I'm not saying
for a Burnley, Joe. He's not good enough.
I'm not saying. Hold on. Let me just land.
Calm. I just want to say one little extension once you finish.
Okay, but Nat Phillips has been. Nat Phillips has been incredible.
He has.
He's aggressive. He's a leader. Hit the back. He's not really made many mistakes. His ball quality has improved. His interception, reading the game, position of the play, winners in the air, aerial box, this type of stuff. Like, he has great qualities as a defender. I'm not saying he should start alongside Van Dijk next season. I think Gomez or maybe Konate. These are higher esteemed players. Whatever. We don't even see Konate yet.
I hear you.
Nat Phillips is a fine player to have in our squad. He can play against a Watford at home, a Burnley at home, something like that. He can play in cup games.
Tough, hard games where it's like, well, you need a bit of rough and tumble, innit? Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, against teams that aren't even that pacey. We could play Nat Phillips because he wins every single aerial duel possible. What you're saying, Ryan, about he doesn't fit in the system, in a high line against a ball-playing team that knows how to keep the ball, work away around the defense, that's when he's kind of exposed because he's not necessarily so agile, nimble, that type of stuff, not so pacey. But, like, come on, we've seen his quality. I think he should stay.
Agreed.
Now, you may raise the argument it's better for his career to go to somewhere else. That's a different debate. You know what? Maybe it is as a personal perspective. As a little,
but who's going to give him 80 grand a week? It's not better. He's on 65 grand a week. So again,
I'm saying from a personal perspective, there is an argument to say Nat Phillips could get into a first team somewhere else. I don't want that, but I'm saying he might. Someone else might say, "Hold on a sec. I've just proven myself in the Premier League. I can get in a first team football, play 38 game season here, challenge in a cup competition here as well, and play that."
Joe, do you play for Burnley or be the 4th centre-back at Liverpool and win trophies? It's an easy answer. So, you know what I mean? It's Liverpool.
Yeah, of course. I completely agree with that.
My argument to it, my caveat would be, for the performances that we've seen Phillips make this season, where it's purely circumstantial that he's had as many games as he has, would you think that he's going to carry the form into next season and carry that form that he has provided, being called upon from the bench, or not even necessarily making squads, certain week match days, he might not even make the bench, right? So that being said, is Nat Phillips going to provide and carry the form going into next season, being 4th choice centre-back? I mean, that is my argument. I mean, he's a fantastic player, but Ryan has a great point. If you can cash in, it's not worth
the cash though, Finn. It's not. No one's going to spend
outrageous
money. No, they're not. No, they're not. You know how football works. The most you're going to get for Nat Phillips is 15 million, right?
It doesn't matter about the price.
No, but listen. Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Konate, your 4th centre-back right now. Let's just all understand this. It's either going to be Kabak, Phillips, right? You pick one, right? And it's Phillips. That's it. That's what's going to happen. Nothing different's going to happen. We're not going to buy another centre-back. So I don't see why this if buts and maybe. It's not going to happen. Phillips will be there next season. He's proven 4th best centre back, and then FSG will be like, oh, we don't have to spend 20 million on one, and that's the end of it. That is what will happen. Like, because do you not know what FSG are like?
Yeah, I do.
They've saved 9 million on Kabak because they don't have to buy a centre back now.
For me, though, what I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes is that we're buying a 21-year-old centre-back who competes at international level for a large fee, for a buyout clause. We're giving him a contract till 2026, yeah? He's much younger than Van Dijk. Gomez is 24. He's also going to go hand in hand. Therefore, Phillips, at best, is only ever going to be 3rd choice after Van Dijk retires.
You act like people don't get injured, mate. Like, you act like we don't need depth.
So
like,
what my argument is if, for example, Van Dijk plays 38 games next season,
he's not going to. He's done his ACL. He's not going to play 38 games. He's not going to play 38 games.
If given the opportunity that Phillips gets 10 games next season, that's about as many as he'll get. Yeah, he'll get 10 games. Do you think in them 10 games that he gets, he will perform to the level that he has performed at?
Because the guy's clutch. The guy's actually got a bit of bottle about him. Kabak, the signing comes in. Nat Phillips looks like the best defender. Yeah. Like, many pressure situations. He's playing with probably half a defender, Rhys Williams. No disrespect, but he's had to carry that. He's been carrying it. He's been smashing it.
Yeah, but he's 24 compared with Rhys Williams and compared with Ozan Kabak. Ozan Kabak came from Schalke, who are rock bottom of the league. He won no games.
Nat Phillips came from Stuttgart.
Exactly.
Best experience, right?
Mid-table German team, yeah? He's had
he played the second division. Second division in Germany he played, right? The point is, Nat Phillips has smashed it. He can handle pressure. He's in the team. It's so simple. I don't see. No one's going to spend money that you are talking about for Nat Phillips. There is no team in the world who's going to play a guy who can't play on the half line. So that's all the top 6 teams out of it. So then you're looking at your Burnleys, right? Not even Brighton's anymore. Maybe a Brighton you could argue, but still they like to play good football. So really, you've got a small sample of teams who are going to sign him who are not going to spend more than 20 million. So why would you do that? Botman's not going to come as a 4th centre back. You're not going to get a better centre back than Nat Phillips.
I think Spurs are very interested. They're desperate for a centre-back. Eric Dyer's not good enough. Davison Sanchez
they want to play good football. You can't. With Nat Phillips, Nat Phillips can't play in the halfway line.
Nat Phillips is a very similar player type to Toby Alderweireld.
I disagree, mate.
They're beast players. And they've got no pace. What pace does Alderweireld have? What pace does Vertonghen have?
He's like 35 now, mate.
That's what I'm saying. They're used to playing in that dynamic.
Finn, can I just please me a beg on you guys? We don't want Nat Phillips to come under the pressure next year. Guys, listen to me. Believe me, guys. Trust me. I love Nat Phillips. He has done great.
Look at Jersey boy. What the hell?
Come on, Bridget. We have to look at the bigger picture. Don't have Van Dijk going to play not even 15 game good this season. Gomez the same thing. We have Joel Matip miss every single season since him come. We signed him from Schalke and free.
Matip's away.
He's never fit to play the entire season. Gomez always miss 15 game a season, 20. Let's be honest, guys.
But we have
the only defender Liverpool have where play most of the game them is Virgil van Dijk. So we have to be real. Sell Nat Phillips money and bring in someone better.
Hold on. Games this season.
Is Van Dijk or Gomez ever won at Old Trafford? Is that? Oh no, they haven't. But Nat Phillips turns up and played in a pressure game that he turned up and done that. They rested their team, the players, but he can't handle the pressure.
Wait, let me ask a question.
I swear Nat Phillips scored an own goal.
Phil, Mourinho Demo.
Wait, Finn, what did you say?
I swear Nat Phillips scored an own goal, though, didn't he?
You're taking the piss there, aren't you? I know you are.
Also got assist.
I know. Chill out, guys. Chill out.
Demo, go for it.
I was about to, and I knew you were taking the piss there.
Go for it, Demo.
Listen. Ryan, what are you talking about, bro? No, I'm not even trying to be funny, right? I'm really serious. So you want him to, you say he's good enough to take us to top 4, but he's not good enough to be our 4th choice center back. That's what you're saying right now?
No, because
What are you saying?
Gomez.
Because it's
The
not
reason
making
why I
sense.
said that. The reason why I said that, Demo, because I cannot depend on Joel Matip, and also Gomez. Is Van Dijk is the only one who keep fit since he signed for Liverpool.
So hold on. Are you do you know that Van Dijk makes whoever he's partnering with better? Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Do you think that Van
Exactly,
Dijk would make Nat Phillips better?
But he's not going to go next to Phillips.
so.
He's going to go next to Konate or Gomez. This is my point. He's going to be fourth choice, not third or
He's
second.
going to be his sixth choice, bro.
He might
We
get
have to
3
be
games.
real.
He might get
Sorry.
3 games next to Van Dijk. He might get 3 or 4 games next to Van
But
Dijk.
you need depth, guys. You act like football's 11 men. Like
That's exactly what
But
I'm
you're
saying.
like, let's not pretend that FSG are FSG as well.
Right.
Like you can use the argument one way, but it goes both ways.
Matip's away and Kabak's away, so you've got 4 defenders. There you go. That's your 4 defenders.
Rhys Williams will be in the setup next year. As much as it pains me to say, he
Right,
probably
youth
will be in the
academy,
setup.
mate. But
I
like
don't
that's
want him
not
to play
that's
any.
not a fifth centre
he
back.
will be.
That's in the development team. That's not. That's like saying Kimetio's your fifth centre back. It's not going to really.
Yeah,
It's
but
not your
no.
4
He's
main centre
he's
backs.
too far behind. He's too far behind other centre backs in the setup.
No,
He's too
I
young.
was saying they don't qualify
I
as
know,
a
I know.
fifth centre back. They're like academy coming the bench. But the 4 centre backs, if we don't sign Kabak, Matip's going to go. It's going to be Nat Phillips because we've just signed Konate. Are we going to spend 20 million on another centre back? No.
We need
So
Conrad, we need one more defender. We need one
but that's
more defender.
that's not going to happen, Ryan, because we need a striker first
No.
thing, right?
So we don't learn from that. Means if we bought in one defender, let Joel Matip leave. We don't learn from our mistake from
Or
last
maybe
season.
you keep Joe Matip and then you just lift
No,
Konate.
bro,
Then
we
you've got
need,
5
we
centre
need,
backs.
bro.
I
We
think
need
Joel's
him
going
to
to
go,
go.
bro.
They are not
needs
going to
to-
sign another centre back.
Well, I know.
There's no way.
He said he cannot keep up with Klopp's
Yeah.
system. He
He said
want to go.
he said that 2 years ago. He said that 2 years ago.
He did. To be fair, he did. He
Klopp,
did.
Klopp don't want him. His Klopp don't want him to leave.
Ryan, let me
Well,
ask
I
you a
agree.
question.
I agree, Ryan. I agree, mate.
Ryan, bro, let me ask you a question. Who do you think's better? Who do you think was better, Nat Phillips or Dejan Lovren? I'm asking Ryan. Answer us.
As bad as
Yeah.
thing I don't rate Dejan Lovren, I prefer Dejan Lovren.
How much do you prefer him by?
What?
I prefer him. I prefer.
No, but who do you think's better? Who do you think's better?
All right, listen. I think.
Wait, who do you
Lovren
think's
is
better? Hold
Just-
on, Ryan. Who do you think's better? It leads me to my next point. Do you think they're about the same or something?
No, Lovren better than him by far, Bridget. Lovren
I'm actually.
better than him by
then
far.
I can't ask
I'm
my
going to agree.
question.
I'm going to agree. I think Dejan
No,
Lovren
I'm not
is
making an
better.
opinion. I
Definitely
think
think he's better.
I've never been a big Lovren critic. I love Lovren, but I'm just asking Ryan because if he said Phillips is better than Lovren, then it makes his point about Phillips being a fourth choice invalid because we were fine.
Hold on.
Because we were fine when Lovren was our fourth choice in 18-19 and 19-20. If you guys remember, he actually played very well. Lovren.
But what we got to remember, the 2 players are very different. One has come through our academy. One we spent £20 million on from Southampton, right? One came. So Lovren's career, he played at Lyon, Liverpool, Southampton, and Zenit St. Petersburg. My guy Phillips has just come through our academy, had a year out at Stuttgart, and then settled in. How can we say that he's much better with chest and say he's more accomplished, he's better? We can't say that about.
I don't know who's saying that. You know, maybe if these people.
All right, listen. Let me tell you what the problem is Lovren. Let me tell you one problem Lovren have. Let me tell you one single problem Lovren have. It's Lovren. He will play 85 minute grid, 95 minute grid. So we get 6 minutes at a time, 95 minutes. And he plays so excellent. And he's just switch off.
Yeah, true.
Lovren only have one mistake in him. He will play great, guys. Trust me, when Lovren on it, him on it.
It
He
was the
play
same
very
as
good at
Southampton.
Southampton. Well, on demo, he play very good for Southampton. Play very good for Zenit Petersburg in the Champions League.
Leon, he played exceptionally for Leon.
He play in the World Cup final. He play Champions League final. Come on,
I agree.
Bro. He's levels to this thing, man.
He got criticized quite a lot.
As bad as I don't like Lovren, he's better than Nat Phillips. And we should learn from Divock Origi. You know that to Demo.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
Nat Phillips at 24 versus Dejan Lovren at 24. Lovren is better.
Go ahead, Stephen.
No, hold on a minute. You're forgetting one thing here. Do you not remember Lovren coming in his first season for Liverpool? he was part of the defence that we finished second and fifth of. That's the season when Brendan Rodgers was in charge. Brendan Rodgers signed Lovren. But what did Lovren do? He had a good season in Southampton. He came to Liverpool in his first season. And what happened after that?
He
absolutely flopped. He was absolutely flopped. Lovren did not step up to the mark to get us top 4.
Yeah.
He did not step up to protect that defence. The reality is, Lovren, for me, is no better than Nat Phillips at the moment. At the moment, I'm saying. Will Nat Phillips do stupid
and
things?
let me
I don't know.
I don't think Lovren was all that special at Southampton either. I thought Font made him look good. He was actually the better centre back. Jose Font was the better centre back of the two, and he made Lovren look good. But my point here is, Ryan, you are very ungrateful. Very ungrateful.
You tell him, Dima.
I agree.
And I cannot believe there's people here who are saying that Nat Phillips should be loaned or sold after all that he's done. Let me show you this right now. We called Nat Phillips back from loan when we were going to play against Everton in that whatever cup it was, and Curtis Jones scored that banger. He pocketed Richarlison, he pocketed Calvert-Lewin, and it was Carlo Ancelotti. Like, he came in and if it wasn't for Curtis Jones, he would have been the man of the match, right? He came back, they sent him back, he came back and he has performed right up to standard and probably had 2 bad games. And you are telling me that we're supposed to sell him and not let him be our 4th or 5th choice centre back? Ungrateful, bro.
To be fair, I don't want to be paying our 4th choice centre back 65k a week when it could be going better elsewhere. Sorry, I don't.
But hold on. That contract's been signed though, so it's like it's not your choice.
So
it's his choice.
Exactly.
So why is he going to get? Why is he going to get paid less?
It's not his choice. It's the club's choice. It's FSG's choice.
It's not,
to decide whether they want to sell him or keep him.
No, it's his choice, because if he signs a contract, you can't say break your contract. No. So it's like, go to Burnley, get 40 grand. No, I'm fine. I'll stay here. Of course you would.
If Tarkowski was to leave Burnley, he would not be paid 45 grand.
Are Burnley going to pay him 65 grand a week?
Most likely.
Burnley don't spend that type of money, not a lot. You know, maybe the most they get is maybe 70 grand. I might be wrong there. Maybe Wood's on a bit more, but
me personally, I think Nat Phillips would be a marquee signing for Burnley, and
it's not worth the hassle for Liverpool. Just keep him instead of getting 20 mil. Because, like you say, Botman. Why is Botman going to come and be a 4th choice centre back when he's just won the league with Lille?
Because we've got
also Conroy. Also
got no defenders available, no fit defenders.
Sorry,
it's just realistic he's going to stay. Yeah, I don't see why he would stay.
Listen, understand here as well. Conroy made a point there about Botman. Very much that lines of, like, you don't know what Botman's going to be like when he comes into Liverpool if he was to sign. You don't know if he's going to be a good centre back, or you don't know if he's going to be a bad.
You don't know what Mo Salah's going to be when he comes into Liverpool. But 4 years down the line, it's not like we're crying about it, is it?
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think Salah's done a good job, to be honest.
Oh, give it a break.
We've not got time. We've not got time to go to that, right? But on this topic, guys, I just think, to be honest, keeping Phillips is a no-brainer, because this was going to happen. Because, like, why are you going to? You've signed a Kanate, you're signing a Gomez, you're signing a Van Dijk, right? It's probably useful to have a defender who can take it a bit of a rough game for those away games, and then keep a Matip if you want. But you've got 3 defenders who can always play on the last line. I do get what Ryan's saying, that you want maybe have 4 defenders like that, but I can't. I'm not saying right now, mate. I'm saying next season. But I just say I can't see the point in selling him, because you're not going to get money you're talking about for Nat Phillips. No team in the right mind is going to give you 30 million for Nat Phillips. The most they'll offer is 20 million, because that's the type of player he is, and that's the type of team he'll suit. So you just keep him. Like,
yes, and with everything else, he has earned the right, bro. He has earned the right to play for Liverpool. He's earned it.
Wait. Look at Jersey Boys. What? No way have you told me to Jersey, but I was about to back you by saying let's move on. You're roasting my hair. I actually don't know. That is an absolute.
Listen, Demo, we have to be more crucial, bro. I appreciate everything he has done, but, bro, I don't want the same thing happen to Divock Origi. Look how they're dealing.
Different positions, though, Ryan. He's paid to score goals.
Would you want Nat Phillips to play a Manchester Bayern Munich Champions League final? Nat Phillips?
Yes.
But the thing is, mate, right, as a 4th choice centre back, if Nat Phillips came in, if you ask me right now, who's had, I think Dejan Lovren, it's a bit longevity. I'm not going to do that debate right now. But Nat Phillips has not looked a liability when he's played. He has looked like a defender who's confident and has progressed. So I don't know why you would.
All the last 5 games that we played were finals, bro. All the last 5 games we played were finals, and Manchester United was included.
Demo, it's different when you challenge for top 4. When it's crunch time, I'm talking about buckle down to win.
This guy was meant to go to university in America a year ago, and he's just got us to the top 4. So like his trajectory is unbelievable. Like
I'm talking about challenge for the Premier League title, big moment, pressure.
I really need to do my
winning the Champions League. Let's be honest, guys.
It's all right, Jersey boy. Don't worry.
I'm telling you, Joe. I'm not disrespecting Demo. You know I rate you,
yes,
but
you are.
Nat Phillips is not.
You are.
We got to be realistic, man. We got to be realistic. 6 months ago in January, right? He was being touted to go to Nottingham Forest and Swansea.
Well, I know.
Today, what happened?
Finn,
he actually had a good performance against West Ham earlier in the season.
Joe, I have to lift my hand to Demo J. I have to lift. You know why I have to lift my hand? Where is all of you guys who were saying Nat Phillips, Nat Phillips? It's the only man who ain't saying Nat Phillips. Everybody was laughing off. Like, I remember when he played against Newcastle and him chased the player and fell off. Bro, he's not good enough.
Two bad games. Do you see Joe Gomez against Aston Villa? See Joe Gomez against Aston Villa? See Joe Gomez against Man City? You know what I mean? Like, everyone's got a bad game in them. Joe Gomez has been done about 5 times for Liverpool. Looked like he's never played in defence before, but he's don't have the same energy for Joe Gomez.
We've literally won 8 of our last 10 or something. And the games we won, Phillips was playing. The games we drew, Phillips wasn't playing. This guy is good enough. He's good enough.
None of these, the 2 defenders that take us to top 4, they're not them. I don't want to see them at the club next year. They should. The Rhys should go out, get more experience, play more consistent, and Nat Phillips, we can get at least 15 million or 20 million. That's a lot of money. Get him and get someone better.
It's not a lot of money. Who do you sign with that? With 20 million? Who do you sign with 20 million who's going to come and be a 4th choice centre back?
10 million pound.
But why is he going to come to Liverpool? He just won the league last night with Leo. So why is he going to come to Liverpool and sit on the bench? Do you know what I mean? Like you got to think about people. All
right. What about this? What about this? We get Ben White for 40 million.
Bro, we're just calling random names at this point. What is wrong? Like, we're not just going to go and spend a lot of money.
I think Botman would go to Liverpool, irrespective of whether he's just won the league. He's just won the league. What more is he going to accomplish at Lille? He's not going to win the Champions League at Lille, right? Let's get that straight.
I just think it's snobbery. It's snobbery because it's an English defender, Nat Phillips, who want to know. I think it's snobbery. It's the highest degree of snobbery. If you'd said any centre back, if Kabak had played like that to the end of the season, you would have said sign him the first time the season ends. Because it's Nat Phillips, it's like it's not cool.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Conrad. That's a good response.
It's snobbery. It's the reason Graham Potter doesn't get put for the big jobs anyhow, because it doesn't suit the agenda. It doesn't suit it. I'm sick of it, honestly.
If Graham Potter's name was like Guillermo Potterino, he would be going to Barca next season. If his name was Guillermo Potterino,
you keep showing the last 10 games. Keep showing the last 10 games. Nat Phillips played in every one of those games, right? And we won. You keep talking about Salah and all the front three being amazing and have, but Nat Phillips was in defence in those games. I just like.
Yeah, I think what dictates it mainly for me is the fact that
it's snobbery. It's snobbery. No, that's what dictates it. It's snobbery. I'm not.
It's 65k. It's 65k a week to sit on the bench.
No, but Ox is on 100 grand a week.
Exactly. Get him out. Tell him.
It's not your money, mate. Why are you bothered about that? It's not your money.
I bought this.
All right, guys. One more thing. One more thing before we move on. One more thing. One more thing. Move on from this topic.
Phillips is such a
bright thing.
Footballer.
If you guys have a chance, and I want you guys to just give me one answer, and I'm going to be honest. We're going to move on. Kabak staying at Liverpool or Nat Phillips leave? I'm starting with you first, Joe.
Wait, can you repeat the question, please?
Kabak, we bought Kabak. Or Nat Phillips lose. So either we has to send back one.
Sell Kabak.
Wait, sell Kabak. Wait, I don't understand. Buy Kabak.
You has to keep one. Either keep Kabak or you sell Nat Phillips.
I'm keeping Phillips just to get it in there.
Phillips
all day long.
Who are you keeping, Joe? Phillips or Kabak?
Obviously Phillips.
Hands down, there's no debate.
But
Kabak runs
if Kabak had the same season, you'd be like, sign him for Liverpool. He's the man. But because it's not Phillips, it's like, I can't say that. That doesn't work.
No, but I want to hear who Ryan is keeping. Who are you keeping?
Listen up. So if one of you guys say,
we're keeping that.
Everyone says keep Phillips. No one wants to keep Kabak.
Yeah, I'm keeping.
Listen,
Phillips.
let's be honest. Kabak is 20. Kabak is 20, right? Nat Phillips is 20.
So is Wesley Fofana.
Kabak can improve. He can improve. Who knows he's going to be the next Virgil van Dijk? Remember, we closed our eye on Virgil van Dijk with him at Celtics. Brendan Rodgers did it already. Remember. So
moving the goalposts, Ryan.
Hold on.
Why did Liverpool sign me? I could be the next Messi. I literally could. I'm pretty good at five-a-sides, you know. Why don't they sign me? Well, honestly, I could be the next Messi.
Listen, Kabak fit in our system. He can play the ball. We can play at the half line. He cannot. Nat Phillips cannot. Let's be honest, guys. Next season when we're playing at I-line, he cannot play at the I-line. He's very slow, bro.
We've played the High Line. We've played the High Line all season.
My daughter and my son faster than Nat Phillips and Rhys. They are very slow, bro.
The whole run to this Champions League third spot. What are you talking about?
Listen, I will keep Kabak. I will keep Kabak. If it was me, I would sell Nat Phillips and I would never keep Kabak. I will get Botman. Botman is the player to challenge.
Liverpool finishing 6 and 7.
Botman is the man to challenge Gomez for that spot. Gomez is not guaranteed for him game next season.
So Kabak's been unbelievable. Phillips has been unbelievable all season in the Premier League, but it's the one who's never played in the Premier League is going to compete. The one who's actually been amazing, we're just saying, just chuck him away because he's not proved anything. And it's like,
Jersey boy's fuming. He's fuming. Literally
Jersey
fuming.
Boy, stop that, man. Stop mash up the show, bro.
Nat Phillips all the way, guys. He's earned his spot.
I agree. I think he will feature for us next year. It just pains me knowing how much money we've got in wages just sat on our.
But that's never going to change, Finn, because he's signed that contract, so he can sit in his hands for the next 3 years. That's his contract, so it doesn't matter.
That's even more poor. I don't want to hear that. It does not make me smile.
How much do you get for getting the Champions League? 58 million for getting Champions League. So do you think 65 grand a week to Nat Phillips is worth it? Because we just got the Champions League. So I'd say it's worth it.
Thinking about it, 100 grand a week ain't worth it to Wijnaldum though. So
how's it not? The same was going to cost 30 million. It cost 5 million to
extend his contract though.
It cost 5 million to pay Wijnaldum that for 3 years. It's going to cost us 40 million to get a replacement. So
that's my point.
What are you saying? Nat Phillips is worth that 65 grand because
guys, I'm going to fail my university essay if I don't get on with it.
Is it one of them? But I just think Nat Phillips deserves to be rewarded. That's all
He does. But my concern as well is that if he's not featuring as regularly as he has this season, he is not going to be as reliable next season. That is my concern. It might not happen, but they're my concern. 65 grand a week to sit on the bench, make 10 appearances, and not maybe even perform to the level that he's performed.
He'll be in the team of the year next year.
I bloody hope so.
Wouldn't keeping Phillips help us in challenging in all fronts?
That's what I think, mate.
What, in terms of like FA Cup games, League Cup games?
FA Cup, League Cup, and possibly even Champions League games if we need to. And that's been our problem. That's been our problem. We haven't been challenging for the other trophies. And look, I'm happy that we've been winning Champions League and Premier Leagues, but
in the same breath, I'd like to see Curtis Jones feature as well if he stays with us.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I
want to go deep in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. We got to win that under Klopp.
They just went everywhere. This conversation.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, yeah. Sorry, can we?
Phillips has got a 10. Phillips has got a 10. Then 10 for Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips has been one of our standout performers this season. Come on, with all credibility and seriousness, like We never really expected him to step up.
Ryan, what are you giving Phillips? Ryan, what are you giving Phillips this season?
I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'm giving him. To be honest, him do well, and I cannot hide him glory. Him do well, and he deserve to just more consistent to becomes a better player, because he's not going to play this amount of game next season. He will not, guys. Let's be honest and let's be fair, guys. That's all I'm saying. We can get a little bit of money and we can purchase someone much better, guys. It's just a fact and it's just a truth.
Who is much better, though?
We can get Botman, bro.
Why would you want to be on the bench?
There's enough right, let's not pretend there's not candidates. Let's not.
I hope Kenati and Gomez are ready, because Phillips is not going anywhere. Phillips is ready to battle for us.
Watch out.
Right now.
Look at this, guys.
It wouldn't
we have Gomez next season.
Started with Van Dijk
just a second. If we have Gomez playing right back, we don't need to buy a backup right back. Play Gomez as a backup right back. If you have to play, they will have to. Sometimes when you play against a big team, we want to be more solid in defense. We don't have to start changing. So if we can bring in 2 centre back, we need 2 centre back, guys. You guys, what's wrong with you?
Phillips will be good enough.
We need 2
he's
centre
good
back,
enough.
guys.
But do you know, is Phillips? Why is he not good enough?
He's not good enough.
I want Botman.
We want Botman and the player we're going to sign today.
Grass is greener. Grass is greener, crew. Grass is greener, crew. This is what it is. Grass is always greener on the other side.
Not yet told me why Nat Phillips isn't good enough.
I agree. I've asked the same question.
Of course, I told you.
You said he can't play the high line, but he's been doing it for the whole season.
Yeah, we've not stopped playing the high line. We still get playing the high line.
Listen, guy. Let me say it again. First and foremost, guys. Let me say it again. Guys. Let's be honest, guys. When Virgil van Dijk coming back after injury, Nat Phillips not going to play. If everybody fit him not going to play, we need to make people challenge for them game. We're not going to have Virgil van Dijk sure of him game next season. We don't want Gomez sure of him game next season. We want competition in the squad.
Bro, Van Dijk is always sure of his game. I'm sorry.
Nah, but we don't know with this, bro.
The injury what him have, we don't know, bro. Listen, Demo,
this panel really should have more views. I'm telling you, how do we grow? I mean, it's a good debate. We've got to have more views here.
Jesus Christ, man, Demo. You know, Demo, man. Only know, guys. Listen, Rams, you know what the problem I don't like? How many of you guys saying that Phillips should be? Nobody rate Nat Phillips. Only Demo. Only Demo. That's why I have to give him so much respect.
I've said Nat Phillips been good all season.
He's not good enough to play for Liverpool, bro. Play over 5th child.
Hold on, Ryan, hold on. You want to say you want to sign Botman? Like now. We're not going to sign another centre back. We're not going to. FSG's not going to do that.
We should, though. We should. We should.
If we don't do it, we don't learn from our mistake last season. That's simple.
Like we need a lot. We need a centre. We need another centre back. We need a midfielder, and we need a striker, and we need a backup goalkeeper, and we need a utility player. We're
not getting them. Yeah, and we're not.
For me to be incredibly sure that we're gonna challenge for the league and challenge for the Champions League in the same season.
Let's not pretend that City ain't going to go out and spend another 150, 200 million.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Manchester United are going to go and get a Sancho or a Kane. Chelsea are going to go out and try and get Haaland or Lukaku. We need
Guardiola's sat there 3 months ago going, we can't afford a striker. And now Sergio Aguero is magically leaving. They're looking at Kane. So let's not pretend that we're going to be able to compete with these teams. Like next season, it will require the majority of our first team personnel to be fit for the majority of the season. If that's not the case, then we're not going to compete.
Finn,
of course.
You know,
Finn. Then do we trust FSG to help us? That's why I don't rate FSG.
I feel like smash this laptop, Joe. We know, Joe. I'm telling you guys, we're going to have the same problem next year if we have this mindset come next year. We're going to have the same problem. You know why? The Euro coming up, World Cup coming up, guys. We have to have a deep squad. We cannot depend upon the same 13 players we have been depending for the last 2 years. The team need to freshen up.
I agree.
You guys think?
And that's the problem. That's the problem with Mane this season, man.
Can I just close by saying this because I'm gonna leave? Listen. You know why I'm not having this Nat thing? Like for me, and I've been saying it all season, right? for me, this season, it wasn't even about our defense so much. We were just not clinical in front of goals. We've actually conceded less goals than Manchester United. Think about that. We have conceded less goals than the team who's finished second. So it's not even a Nat Phillips problem right now. The guys have just not been clinical enough. And that is what is going to need to change for next season. They just have to be clinical, and whoever comes in defense will take.
That's not going to change unless you get a striker. That's not going to change unless you get a striker, because that front three's never been clinical. They've had the worst season, but they've never been clinical. So that's another debate, though. We'll not get tied to that. But
exactly.
All I'm saying, yeah, when United were at their best, they had 6 centre backs that are decent. 6. We have only, I would say only 3, including when Konate signs, it'll be 4. We need more, bro. We need more players.
Do you not think they just signed Kabak then? Do you not think they just signed Kabak and then
no. Kabak doesn't show himself to be a.
You're acting like they're going to go and sign a botman. It's not going to happen.
No, exactly. And another thing, Rams, if we have that level of depth, Klopp never uses that level of depth.
Yes.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, go ahead, Conroy. Finish your point, bro.
No, I was just going to say, like, I can't. We're not going for a botman, right? So the best chance you've got for depth is getting a Kabak in as well for 9 million. And if that looks unlikely now, Konate, it will be those 5. It will be Konate, Phillips, Gomez, Van Dijk, and then I wouldn't qualify Rhys Williams as a 5th, but you know what I mean. It'll either be like or maybe the whole dot Matip, but that's your 5 there. And we keep talking about we have got depth. We've not got great depth, but see, when you look at it, if we've got a fully fit squad next season, Jota's depth for the front 3. Thiago, obviously Gini's left. You need to look at that as well. But there is depth there. If we just sign a few players, we'll actually have quite a good squad next year. It's not just the first 11. I don't agree with that, Finn. I think that show with the signing of Thiago and Jota, and then you've got Shimikas as well, who never plays.
Let's not forget about how good.
That's what I'm saying. We only use 14, 15 players.
But most teams only use 15 players, though. Most teams only use 15 players.
Guys, Minamino is literally Mbappe. I think he's going to tear it up next season.
I'll sell Minamino for 50.
I'm kidding. I really don't rate him. I don't know what the situation with.
We could get good money. We can get good money for him. Let Michael Edwards do his job. We can
the Michael Edwards train's ran out.
If we can try. Yeah. Sell Minamino, go for Rafinha.
No, Brewster 25 mil. That was a nail in the coffin.
Oh, no. I still have faith that he can.
How much do you think Rafinha, guys? Are you on a different planet? How much do you think Rafinha's going to cost? 60 to 70 mil easily. Chelsea are looking at him.
45 mil.
I wouldn't even entertain that. If that was his touted price, I'm not going to even entertain 60 to 70
Chelsea
million.
Are looking at him as well. So you're talking about probably 50 to 60 for him.
I want him.
And then you want to buy a striker in the same summer?
Personally, I'd get Marcel Sabitzer. So.
I know you would, Ram. I know you would, mate.
Honestly, because he drives with the ball and he can shoot from 35 yards out. We don't have that in our midfield. We've got
apart from a fit Ox.
Fabinho can shoot from distance.
Fabinho is terrible.
But that's not a game plan. You know, you actually when you look at that, yes, we need someone who shoot from outside the box. But you don't actually score that many goals from it. Hence why managers play a style to get it in the box now, because the numbers don't match that. That's why a lot of teams play that way.
We need
you get your Madisons and that.
And plus he's versatile as well. He can play in the wings as well.
I do like Sabitzer. He's a good player, mate. He's a good player.
Maybe a fully fit Ox can do that, but he's just not going to stay fit.
I think Ox is leaving. Me personally, I think he's going to West Ham. He's saying, "See you later."
Really?
I think I think I've overheard him saying that he wants to stay for one more season. I think I might have heard
because it's the wages. He probably wants to keep the wages that he's on. Let's not pretend like.
I don't understand.
If you're getting 10 games a season to sit on the bench for $100,000 a week, you're not going to say, "Oh, send me to West Ham for $40,000 and I have to play 38 games." He's not going to win trophies at West Ham. That's why he wants to stay at Liverpool.
Exactly, man.
I think he's comfortable.
That's not a bad thing.
I get why
it's a career.
I know, but I get why he wants to go, but I think he doesn't want to go yet because I think you have to remember as well. He's just about to have a baby, so I think what he's thinking is he doesn't want to move house or doesn't want to move club yet because he wants to get settled with the new sort of life he's going in the way at the moment. But I think,
if you're saying that, then he was going to want to sit. If you say that, then he's going to want to stay for a few years, then, isn't he? If he's planning to have a family life, would it not make more sense to move and then spend the next 4 years of your career at a new club, settling in there?
Yeah, I guess so. But I definitely overheard not long ago that Ox will step put. I do believe that he'll step up for one more season. I think, and then I think he'll move on. I think it all comes down to wages. I think at the end of the day, and I think there are some dead boy players that we still need to get rid of. But it's gonna be. I think the reality is for FSG, it's gonna be really hard, really tough.
Yeah, but it's not just about. It's not just about our club.
I'm gonna have to bounce.
It's
not been an unbelievable discussion, and obviously, it's been class. All right, thank you, people. Thank you, up the red men.
Still love you, Joe. Still love you.
Ryan, in a bit, son.
All right, see you.
We'll be having shows soon. And Jersey boy, if you manage to speak by 10 o'clock, that would be insane. All right.
Yeah, but guys, we are doing keep and sell loan. Keep, sell, loan. So look out for that one coming down in the week.
I want to stay now.
Bye. Yo, listen. Yeah. Jersey boy, you still here?
I'm still here.
What I'm to you?
Nothing. You're the one who kicked me out for no reason. So,
bro, I didn't kick you out. I removed you, bro. Cause you messing up the show with that.
I'm not messing up the show. I'm trying to make people laugh, bro. Don't kick me out for no reason, bro. Seriously.
Bro, I didn't kick you off. I just removed you because it was distracting.
You still removed it for no reason.
All right, can we move on? You two.
Oh, that's fun, guys. That's fun.
Yeah, let's move on. You two chat to each other afterwards.
Jersey boy, talk to me, bro.
No, Ryan, you continue the show.
Oh yeah, he's out.
Right, Jersey. Who's the next person anyway? You've got the list of players, right?
No, don't worry. I'll let Ryan do it.
Well, I don't have it in front of me, so we need to know who we're discussing.
No, I think it finished. I think Nat was the last player. I think.
Okay.
We do already.
All right, fair enough.
It wasn't a last player, but continue.
Jersey boy, grow up, man, and be a big man, man.
Oh, don't tell me to grow up. I'm just saying that.
Jersey, we need
show,
the next guy.
Right.
Next guy. Please, Jersey, please.
I don't really want to continue when Ryan's telling me to grow up. Come on.
Don't worry. Take it with a pinch of salt. We're all gentlemen here. We're all lads. We're all friends.
It's a laugh. It's a bit of fun. It's a little bit of fun.
Yeah, bro. Come on.
We don't hate you, mate. We love you. In fact.
It's fine.
Who's next on the list, Jersey?
I've done the ratings.
Who's next on the list, Jersey?
So.
Fair enough.
Let's just move on. Guys, let's just move on, please. This is getting awkward now.
Yeah, I think Jersey boy gone, so that's okay. But I think we run through most of the player them too.
So yeah. So as an overall, what would you give the season out of 10, Ryan?
Our standard, I will give them a 6 because we like the fight what that Liverpool come back with. Many people wrote off us. We're not going to finish in the top 4, and to see us get third, yes, people will say it's buck up, but at least they get what they're supposed to get. Champions League football is important. So yes, I will give them 6 out of 10. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's not too recency bias because there's a lot of fans on Twitter now. It's like, we're amazing again. It's not been an amazing year. We got over the line. Forget about it and move on. Yeah, I'd say 6.5 out of 10. I'd agree.
Yeah. Finn, how much would you give their season?
I don't know, man. First half of the season's a solid 3 out of 10, to be fair. I mean, like, later stages of the season, we started
I'd say 3 quarters, mate. 3 quarters has been quite poor. We got results and we're still poor at times.
Yeah, but do you really think we would have got top 4 if we continued in the Champions League? If we beat Real Madrid and got through, do you really think we would have ended up with top 4?
Possibly, because it's not us who got top 4 because our brilliance. We've had a good consistency of results. Don't get me wrong, but other teams must have fell down so many times because you look at Arsenal beating Chelsea. But there's been so it's not. But the thing is, mate, there's been so many opportunities this season for us to kick on, and we failed at about 9 of the 10 chances this season. So you don't usually get 10 chances. No, I'm just saying 10. I'm not saying it was that many. But there were several chances, and we failed so many times. So we were lucky to get that many opportunities. Like, because going into the Arsenal-Chelsea game, it's done, finished. Then, Jorginho passes back to the goalkeeper, and then Emil Smith-Rowe scores, and we're back in it. So, you know what? It wasn't because they are brilliant. I'll be honest. We've done well. We won the games we had to win, but for me, it was quite a lucky season. That's why I give it a 6.5.
Yeah. It looked bleak, didn't it? It looked bleak.
That's why it's so lucky, because it's like we look back and think this is a write-off and we've managed to get Champions League. I'm not saying we're jammy because we got in, but you don't usually get that many bites of the cherry. That's the thing. And we got a lot this season.
Would you say we deserve to finish third?
No.
I agree.
You know what? Wait. I might say it's difficult because the first half of the season, from October to December, we were title-winning form. It was title-winning form. Then from January to the end of February, it was relegation form.
Yeah, but it was the performances were still poor, Ramlo, because we're winning games because Jota was coming on saving us. The performances have been poor for most of the season, I would say. I don't think we're performing great.
Wouldn't you say last season quite a lot of the performances that we had were quite poor? Because we did
because we still created chances in those games, and but I would still argue, yes, we've not been clinical, but see, last season's anomaly Liverpool, because those players, the front three, scored goals like Mane in the last minute against Aston Villa, but that doesn't happen with us. In previous seasons, we've always had to create lots of chances to win games. This is why this clinical thing, people try to tell me Mo Salah's the most clinical person in the world. Well, look at the stats. He always misses the biggest chances, but that's the way Mo Salah is. That's not, you just need to accept him. Like, he's not going to change. That's never going to change. That's the way he plays the game. People need to understand. He doesn't look at his performance and say, I'm going to improve. He's literally scored over 20 goals for the past 4 seasons because of that. So it's like the front three aren't going to change the way they play football. But that's why we need a striker, though.
And Conroy, to add to that point, if you think about it, all the best front threes, if you think about it, over the years, have always succeeded in how many goals they score each season. The front three are, I think, coming up to the 4th season. Eventually, that's going to die down at some point. You're going to. I
think the front three's finished, mate. Together, mate. I think Jota's in now. Jota's in for me, and Firmino's going to be a number 10. So that's it.
That's where I agree. Dead on. I agree.
Firmino needs to be pushed back to number 10.
No, but that's it. Finished. Firmino's not number 10 now. He's not going to be a number 9. Well, I might be wrong, and there might be their games now and again, but Jota's going to be playing every second game, I would say. So.
No, but Conrad, wouldn't you like Firmino to come in as a number 9 every now and again?
No,
that would be. I would.
No, really, not anymore. Some games it suits, but there's too many games where You know what? As an option, it's not bad to have, mate. And maybe we're not going to play a 4-2-3-1 every game, but he just hates scoring goals. He just hates scoring goals.
7 games.
So
7 games in a season.
Towards scoring, isn't he? So unclinical. It's just like everything's just tapid when he shoots.
Too unselfish, I'd say.
I know. Do you know what? He's not a striker. Do you know what? But the reason I'm saying that is I'm tired of saying it. I've been saying it. I'm literally on YouTube because I said this 6 months ago. Liverpool need a striker. It's really no rocket science, and it's not even about patterns of play. Do you know what it is? Literally, Alex Ferguson won titles in this. See, when you need to score a goal, you put more bodies in the box and you pen a team in. See, when you've got Roberto Firmino, who doesn't cause any fear or any panic, we've got the 2 best crossers in the world, 2 of the best fullbacks in the world, yet we're the only team in the Premier League who doesn't have a number 9. That is mad in itself.
They done it this season with Cavani.
But it just means you put pressure, because people keep thinking Liverpool need to play well to win, and that is the biggest myth ever. Teams don't play well every game to win. It's about using your assets, and that's why. Do you know what? Maybe now and again he can play, and you're right, it does work. It worked against Palace, but I don't know if that's because it's the last game of the season and Palace were on the beach, and that's why there was so much space. Not because that front three is still amazing together. Because for me, Jota will get in a lot next season. And it'll be competing with him.
Bring in Lewandowski.
Lewandowski. Do you know who was Stuart? Funny enough, you mentioned Cavani there, finish. Do you remember? It was actually not long ago in January. Do you remember Matt, Drifty, and Callum were all saying that we should get Cavani. We should get Cavani when the sort of
when his deal expires.
Guys, it's not even at that level though, mate. Like you can literally. I said last summer, get Callum Wilson for 20 million. I've got it in tape. Look back 3 months, 5 months ago. I said this before anyone else got on the We Need a Striker train, by the way. 20 million would have got Callum Wilson. You're not sure, mate. You're not sure. So you're sure in Cavani, who's only played 1 season Premier League, but Callum Wilson's played 5 seasons Premier League and Premier League proven.
Cavani's done it in Champions Leagues and
he's decorated.
Hold on, right? I'm saying Liverpool's problem sorted by a good striker. You don't need a great striker. So Callum Wilson for 20 million and selling Origi in the summer looks like pretty good business now, doesn't it?
Okay, Conrad. Would you? Do you know what? If you
I don't think Wilson is enough of a target man, really.
But we're not looking for a target man. We're looking for a finisher.
We've got Robbo and we've got Trent whipping in balls. We want someone that can head the goal.
I'm not talking about Andy Carroll, guys. You're looking at Andre Silva because he can score a goal. You actually are so starved of what it's like to see a striker finishing. Like Michael Owen was literally ruthless. And Robbie Fowler, they're not built like bricks. I was going to say something else there. They're
built like Vardy characters. They're built like Vardy.
But I'm not saying it. Like the Andre Silva is probably the best one, or a Jimenez. I get that, but my point is, Liverpool don't need a world class striker. They just need someone who can finish. And the front three aren't clinical. The front three aren't clinical.
Okay.
Not clinical.
I just want Lewandowski, mate. He can do everything.
That's not going to happen, mate.
Why not? Why not? We can always believe.
Andre Silva is the best bet because you know what? He's got a bit of pace about him. He's not necessarily a target man, but he's got a presence that works.
Do you know? I'll tell you what. Just to add on the whole target man thing, you do realize that the goals that we have conceded, Alisson refuses to kick it long. Because he knows that will give away possession.
But that's not who does that for us.
Imagine having a striker. Imagine having a
back, and then Virgil pings it forward, diagonal 60, 70 yard cross. That's what I'm saying.
That, but imagine if we need an outlet, and Alisson has no option. Just launch it long and hope that Andre Silva or someone like that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've seen videos of Konate. Konate is a ball carrying centre back. The geezer's built like a CDM. The geezer is unbelievable. I've watched a 15-minute video of all of the performances at Leipzig. The geezer is built like perfectly for us to play the ball out from the back, either decide if they want to carry it through midfield and play the ball midfield.
You need adaptation. Are you predictable? This is the problem. This is why it becomes predictable. You need to adapt.
Since 3 years ago, but we still managed to be
need to evolve. Look at
back in the day, Pepe Reina used to knock it long to Fernando Torres.
Right. Yes, systems is work, guys. But this is why managers become great and teams become great because they need to not rebuild, not that stupid phrase that always gets used. You just have to mix it up a bit. You have to maybe look at the coaches or different players and you just need to mix it up. You can't be so predictable because you know what? You're against people who are very smart, who study you every second, every game to stop you playing. That's how football works. And then when someone has a low block, we're like, how did that happen? Well, it's their job. But
the thing is, we need more dynamic players to defeat the low block. We don't really.
We're not getting a Cam this summer. It's going to be a striker.
Sabitzer. You want dynamism? You got one at RB Leipzig named Sabitzer. Go and get him.
Yeah, but we're already rinsing RB Leipzig for.
Keita was meant to be. Keita was meant to be dynamic. That worked out well, Ram.
Yeah, but Sabitzer is built like it's built.
That's what they said about Keita. They said Keita was going to be the game changer as well.
Nah, but Sabitzer is built differently, bro. He's built differently.
No, he is a good player. I'm only joking.
The thing is, I can't realistically see us going out and buying 2 players from Leipzig. Not going to happen.
Yeah. So, Demo.
Yeah.
You finish right now? No.
I have to go back. I just took a break. Okay, So I'll give the season, because I base seasons and accomplishments on results, right? And you all know that I had said that we were making the top 4 for a long time. Realistically, Liverpool, we wanted to challenge for the title. We wanted to go far in the Champions League. That's what a club like ours aims for. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and that was our target, to win, to attack our title, and it didn't work out, right? So just because we fell short of the title, I'm going to give the season an 8 out of 10 because, like I said, I'm basing it on results. Yeah, I'm basing it on results. And so we got the results that we needed to qualify and finish this season on 3rd, despite all the adversity that we faced as a team, despite personal adversities, and despite everyone else writing us off. We had an extremely great end to the season, and like we started out well as well, and then you know what happened in the middle part. But I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because I disagree with Conroy wholeheartedly about this lucky thing, and teams had to drop points with each other. I mean, that happens in football.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but that happens in football. That's what happens every single.
How can you disagree with it if it's a fact? So it's like
no,
Arsenal,
but you're saying that's why we made it. Like that happens. That's a given.
What are the odds? What are the odds? No, I've got this fun. What are the odds in Arsenal beating Chelsea in that game? Right. So what
they did the double over them.
No, but
so the odds were pretty thick.
No, they're not, mate. Though, because Arsenal got a game right. Have a poor season. My point is right. Chelsea. Arsenal got a goal because they passed back to the goalkeeper who handballed it.
It doesn't matter.
No, let me finish. But the point is that is like putting a horse on that is like 80-1 to happen, and it came off. But you're telling me because we never beat Burnley, Brighton, West Brom, Newcastle, Fulham at home. You're saying we could do that in any other season and still get the amount of chances where we turned up and bottled it? No way, mate. Not having it. Fair enough, you got your shout right, but it's because
no. I'm not saying that's going to happen every season. What I'm saying is
no season would that ever happen.
I'm saying teams take points off other teams all the time in every season. So to say that we were lucky because teams got points off others, it doesn't make sense. We weren't lucky.
Passes back to a goal. If he plays that pass,
that's not how football works.
Demo, you can't say with chess that after the 6-game home game losing streak, getting dumped out the Champions League, that you can't say with chess that we were going to get 26 out of our 30 remaining points. You can't say that.
Did.
Not based on form, though. You can't.
Yes, I did, bro. What are you talking about?
But you can't say it confidently that we're going to get 26 out of
Yes, I could. Yes, I could.
What evidence was there to suggest that?
Oh my gosh.
The only evidence there is to say that other teams have capitulated in the past.
Oh my
and we have to rely
on I'm not talking at Demo's. Demo called it fair enough, mate, but I'm not going to have that Liverpool is this amazing performing team when we relied on Arsenal and Spurs beating Leicester for us to even get a chance. And by the way, that's like the 10th chance we had this season, Demo, because so many teams lost points, right? And we kept getting chances and we kept losing. Constantly.
Yes, Conroy, yes.
You never get that many chances in any season ever again. So that is luck, mate, because that's a one-off season. 100%.
28th game, 28th game, we were 9th place. You can't say that. I know you called it, right? But
I didn't call it. I worked it out to the T, bro.
There's an element of doubt.
I did the math for this. I didn't just call it.
You didn't say we was going to finish 3rd. You didn't say
I said we're going to make the top 4 easily.
No, but that's fair enough, Demo, but that's because of other teams and us getting luck because it wasn't in our hands.
But bro, that's how the fixture list put the thing together. That's why I could call it. So I know they would have been taking points off each other.
Newcastle at home, we concede, we get away with it as usual, right? And we still manage to fuck up. That is Liverpool in a nutshell, right? We do that, and then that's another time. That's the 8th time we let ourselves down with a chance to get back into it. And then Arsenal, right, have one shot on target at Stamford Bridge and win. You cannot tell me we've got in that because of our brilliance. We have eventually took advantage of the 10th amount of chances we've had because other teams have done us a favour.
But we did get in because of our brilliance, though, because we had a brilliant end to the season. We had a brilliant end to the season, bro. What are you talking about? We didn't lose a game.
We took advantage of the time at the 10th time he asked.
But that's football. That's how the league works. You take advantage of missed chances from other teams.
How many times have Liverpool lost that many games at home in a season and got a chance to Champions League?
It doesn't matter. I'm saying for this specific season, that's how it was.
Because it's this specific season.
It wasn't luck, bro. You're saying, listen, you're saying this is like you're saying Steph Curry's lucky from shooting from half court. No, he's not. Because he practices those things every day. So when
because it's not Liverpool's system, it's because Arsenal have beat Chelsea. That's why Liverpool have got in.
Yes, but Arsenal can beat Chelsea at any time, any day. It's football. That's how football works. They did the double over Chelsea this season.
I know how football works. I know Liverpool had bottled it 8 times this season, right?
Arsenal did the double. Why was it so far-fetched for Arsenal to beat Chelsea? They did the double.
In any other season, Demo. In any other season, right, if Liverpool had those results, and bear in mind with all Liverpool fans, they would never get in the Champions League. This is the one season they have. You know why? Because the other teams, right, have actually took points off us. So it's not because of our brilliance, it's because other teams, right, have done us a favour. Right? It's that simple for me. It's great we done it, you called it brilliant, but it's not because we've been brilliant. We've won games, at the 10th time of asking, that we've actually pulled results out. Yes, it's a good run-in, but you can't say it's because we've been brilliant. This is what I mean. You're going to go to next season and say we're amazing when we've not been amazing, and we need to remember we've not been amazing, so we don't have this clutching at straws excuses again. And then when it doesn't start off amazing, we're all shocked. We shouldn't be shocked because it's been a poor season. With a bonus, we've somehow got the Champions League.
I completely disagree. It has not been a poor season because
how has it not been a poor season, Demo?
Because look at the table. Look at the table. Right, the table tells where you deserve to be.
The
table tells where you deserve to be.
There. It's because other teams have gave us the opportunity.
But that's what happens in a league competition. Teams are going to beat teams.
That would never happen again in any other season.
This is the exact same thing that happened to Arsenal when they were out of the Champions League, the season before they got out of the Champions League. I think it was 2015-16, and Mertesacker said that the table was papering over the cracks. This is the exact same thing that's happening to Liverpool, and we need to fix up our ideas. Otherwise, we're gonna be like Arsenal all over again. I don't want Klopp to be in that situation.
Bro, I don't know how you guys are like every single football season. Each team plays 38 games. They're going to take points off each other. They're going to. It's football, bro.
Have you ever seen Liverpool lose that many games in a season and still get Champions League?
No, but this specific
that's why
season,
it's a one-off season. But that's
how it played out.
But what I'm saying, mate,
what happened when...
That's a bit of luck in our part because that wouldn't happen in any other season. So we wouldn't get that many chances in any other season.
But we also couldn't... We had to do what we had to do. We had to go on a brilliant run to make it to top 3.
Satisfactory run because we'd missed those chances.
Bro, we didn't lose a game. To close out the season, we didn't lose a game.
See with that logic,
we took 27 points from 30. That's what we did. That was brilliant.
But there's so many chances in the season where we've not took advantage of that, though. What I'm saying is,
but you're going off ifs and buts, bro. I'm saying what happened was we took 27 points from 30 that was available. That was brilliant.
But it's not. See, the thing is, you're going to say it's brilliant, and then people are going to take that and be like, right, Ram's saying it's paper over cracks, and that's what it is. But see, with that logic, we're all going to say it's amazing, and then see when it comes tumbling down, we're all going to be in shock when we've said this. So let's clip this up and remember that we said we have not been great this season, and that is amazing we've done it, but it's a bonus because it's papering over cracks. Because that's the way I see it. Fair play, you called it Demo, and I'm buzzing we're in there, but I'm not going to start say, oh, we've been amazing, because we've not been amazing. Certain players have been amazing, yes,
and
but
this is why we need
amazing. No chance.
This is why we need to do well in the transfer window. This is why this transfer window is going to be make or break for us.
All right, I'm gonna run back. I'm gonna run back to work now. But I just want to ask you guys this: how do you judge a season when the season is over? Because I use results. Where you position yourself at the end of the season, the table doesn't lie. That's where you deserve to be at the end of the season. So how do you judge how you end the season? What do you use to judge? Because I use the results of where you finish on the table. Because it doesn't lie.
I've always said performance this season, because the thing is, if we want to compete next year, we can't play that way, can't play that standard anymore, because there's no way we'll ever be able to. It'll take us 5 years to compete again. So listen, I actually usually do agree when it comes to the table, mate, but not this year. We've got lucky so often this year. So
you think that then if we had played like when we finished 1 point behind Manchester City, you believe that because our performance was so great, that would have been a better season than finishing?
No. What I'm saying is, right, for next season, right, it's like Ram says, it's papering over the cracks. So I know how my team's played, and I'm not going to go under this false sense of like optimism that we're going to be great. There's stuff that needs to be fixed, and I'm sticking with that attitude towards it. So that's why I'm my thoughts like this at this time of the season. Yes, but in my head, Champions League's a bonus because to me we didn't deserve it because I don't think we've been good enough this year. I don't think we've been good enough. Can most Liverpool fans think we've been good enough this season?
I don't think we've been good enough. And had we missed out on Champions League, you realise the ramifications that would have had for our club.
We've gone back to ifs and buts. Finn,
it's not ifs and buts. It's
not ifs and buts, mate. Because it's like the teams literally beat teams.
Oh my gosh, he said it's pure luck. All right, listen, guys, I have to run upstairs, but it wasn't pure luck.
I'm not trying to wind you up. I'm not trying to wind you up. We got in the back door.
That's what we got.
Oh my!
Before you leave, Dima, before you leave, how much I give Klopp?
Klopp gets an 8 as well. Yeah, he did bits to get us back to where we were.
Dima, go on here.
He's had so many mistakes this season.
That's why he didn't get a 10. Because he made mistakes.
He shouldn't get an 8, Dima.
Why
shouldn't he get an 8?
He's been average.
You should get 5 out of 10, Dima.
Nah, I'm gonna run, but that's not fair.
All right.
I would say a 7.
I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6 along with. It's just that he.
This is what will happen. You've got. We were protesting 2 months ago saying FSG out. We've got in. Nat Phillips has said, we didn't need a centre back. It didn't help in the summer in January. But now it's like, because they knew Nat Phillips would be great. There'd be no protest. There'll be nothing like that. So then see when you're complaining next January because they've not got the signing in, it'll just be a case of optimism. I'm happy. It's a bonus. It's hard to explain how I feel because I'm not an illogical person. But I think it's properly papering over the cracks. And most fans, like Liverpool, love propaganda. They'll go on their Twitter and it'll show us a picture of Virgil van Dijk training. To make
you don't even know if he'll be back. You don't even know if he'll be good.
But do you know what? Maybe Demo's got a point. Maybe I should look at myself and say, am I in the wrong there? But I'll look at it with an eye test with Liverpool, and I'm emotional with Liverpool. Liverpool this season have not been good enough, in my opinion. So I feel like they've got in the back door with the Champions League, and maybe I'm not putting that well.
We were
not coming across well enough with it. Maybe that's
Conrad. This is how you should judge Liverpool's season. We are the third best out of a bad bunch. We are the third best out of everyone else because everyone else is just as bad. Like Leicester City had 12 losses. The only teams that got into the top 4 are the teams that haven't reached double digits in losses. That's how bad.
Are you ever going to have a season that again? Though that's what I'm saying. And maybe, do you know, maybe Dean was right. Maybe I need to look at the exact statistics. But when I was watching it, and I've watched Liverpool for a long time, I know I don't look at it, but I have. And I'm telling you, I've never seen us get away with dropping so many points and getting in the Champions League. Like I've never seen that. And that may be wrong. But when going with the way I was watching it and thinking of previous experiences, that's maybe why I'm just still a bit emotional about that. Maybe I need to take a couple of weeks, come back, and I feel like it's paper, as Ram says, it's papering over the cracks. But I don't know, guys.
Let's be fair, right? Let's be fair, right? Out of all the YouTube community, Liverpool fans, whatnot, yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of Liverpool fans throughout the world, yeah, especially people that jump into coppish. Demo was the anomaly, yeah. Demo called it from early and he stuck by his gun, yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean that he had complete and utter belief that after the 6 home losses and being dumped out of the Champions League that we were going to continue to go on and win 8 of our last 10 games and draw 2. There's no way any pundit, Paul the Octopus couldn't even predict that. I'm not even joking.
No, but in fairness to Demo, he did those. You see, that with me, it's not got a problem with that. I think it's like you never get that chance again. You never get that many opportunities to get in the Champions League because other teams. And yes, you can say that's football, but I've watched a lot of football, and you never get that many opportunities to get in the Champions League, dropping that many points. And maybe it's too soon after the season. We need to get back in retrospect. But for me, it just didn't feel good enough, and I feel like we're setting us up for a fall if we think that's good enough to just crack on. Changes don't need to be made. They need to be made.
If by the last game of the season you're still competing to solidify Champions League places, that is not good enough.
Unless you're in a Champions League final. That's my only remedy.
Yeah, unless you've continued the season with a piled up fixture list. Yeah, you're in the FA Cup, you're in the Carabao Cup. Like Man City, for example, right? Man City have gone and won the league. They've bloody won the Carabao Cup. They're doing exceptional in all the other competitions. They've gone to the Champions League final. That's a team that have competed and deserve it. We don't deserve necessarily. It's been fortunate.
Maybe, do you know what's fair to Demo? Like, I think you've got to look at it from obviously both points of view as well. He's probably thinking, I called this, I believed it full-heartedly, and even though the results went away, I get where he's coming from with it. So I don't mean, I got a bit animated there. I don't mean like that. I do understand what he means, but for me, that's an anomaly this season. That would never happen again.
I get where he's coming from. Like, the last 10 games, I think our performances have been quite a lot of the games have been very good. It's been at the standard that we expect. Burnley, even the Crystal Palace game, Arsenal away, we've been very good. But we cannot get away from the fact from January from the end of December to the end of February, that is relegation form. We were 17th in the form charts. We need to remember that.
To say with confidence that you're not going to lose a single game of your last 10 games after that run of form, nah, I'm sorry. If we had lost one game,
fair enough. He did though. But see, the thing is, we still could have won all those. But we still could have won all those games and not got in the Champions League because if Chelsea had beat Arsenal. And I get that's football.
Demo is literally 0.1% of the people that were saying this, though.
And credit to him. I just think
massively. I respect him.
We messed up a lot of opportunities this season, yet we still got another one. And that's the way I look at it. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I look at the season. We got in through the back door to the Champions League.
I think most of the fan base would agree.
If we're going to judge next season, I think we need to wait and see what happens in the transfer window. We honestly we have to. I am just begging that we do something good. We do some good in the transfer. We haven't had a proper transfer window where we signed a lot of players since when we signed Alisson and Keita. That season. Yeah. And we need to do something. Like,
shout out to Demo though. To be fair to him, like, I think at the end of the day, he still deserves the credit because you know what? Like, I can understand why he'd be annoyed because he's called it in that.
You look like
opinions, but fair play to him. Like, he's laughing. He's the last one laughing at the end of the day. So fair play.
Yeah, I feel like we shut him down a little bit, and I don't mean for it to come across like that, but I do think there's a massive element of luck. But I mean, Demo, like I said, is the 0.01% of the Liverpool fan base that actually called it from.
Yeah, and he should be smirking because at the end of the day, he's got it, and it's like maybe we'll catch up on that point again, Demo, mate. But as I say, always love your views, but I just feel like this season we got away with one. Maybe I can get that across better, but I just feel like in the back door for me.
Mr. Ultra Positive, I call him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, big up Demo.
Fair enough, Demo. At the end of the day, Demo, right? You're the one who got it right, and we all got it wrong. So you can't argue with that.
We look like idiots right now. But
I do most of the time, so I don't worry about
that. Demo, big up. But guys, we have to wrap it up here now. So we here nearly 2.5 hours. Nearly 2 hours.
Nearly 3. Nearly 3, yeah.
Yeah, nearly 3, yeah. So we wrap up now, Bridging. It's a pleasure to have you guys, bro, to break down this. It's a disappointed season, but we still have to give thanks. We're in the Champions League, not the Conference League,
100%.
Or Europa League next season. So
we got to be grateful for how we ended, man. 100%. We have to be grateful.
Yeah, man.
Demo, yeah.
Yeah, bless. Yeah, no, bless Demo. It's good that you dropped the comment as well. Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine. End of the day, mate. There's only one of us is right out of the thousands of fans, and it's you, mate. So
hundreds.
The only one who's got the flowers is you. At the end of the day, we're all wrong. So fair play. Mate. But as I say, I think like we just feel that it was one of them. It was. I get the table analogy, and I've always understood that. But for me, this season, we talk about anomalies. I feel like we got in because
other people were worse than us.
And I don't think that would happen 9 times out of 10, if you know what I mean. I don't think 9 times out of 10 you get that chance.
Basically, it was just luck, wasn't it? Just so much luck that went our way. And how many times?
It never seemed like it would be, though. It never seemed like it would be.
I don't mean like we were lucky to win every game. I just mean like we there's chances we failed to capitalise so often this season. And I just felt like in other seasons you'll not get that many chances to take advantage. That's the best way I can word it.
Let's not pretend, right? Let's not pretend that Alisson's header solidified Champions League qualification.
Oh my God!
See, I mean, stuff like that. I'm just like, you know what? Then you can't argue with that. You know, teams.
I don't want to have to say it, but it contributed.
Yeah,
it contributed the 3 points. It literally did. As much as it pains me to say, it's factual.
There's 2 ways of looking at it, and we'll probably talk about this all summer. But it's Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. I'd rather be terribly wrong and get in the Champions League, to be honest.
But
so
there was a lot.
Couldn't care.
There was a lot of us though that said in every single stream after every single game we lost that we're not getting top 4.
Mate, I didn't even think we were going to get it until after Burnley. So
it was a Newcastle one. I see when we never beat Newcastle in the last minute. I just thought you're not getting our chance.
That was the sucker punch, that game, man. That really, I was depressed for like 3 days after that.
I hear what Demo's saying. Sometimes you need to take the emotions out of it and look at it. Just for me, I felt like you wouldn't get that many chances in another year. That's what it felt like. The stats might show us different, but that's how it felt for me.
Yeah,
I just hope we go back to competing for the stuff we want to be seeing next season.
Fair play. Demo's got Nat Phillips right this season and the top 4, so he's 2 for 2, and we're all not very good at this. We're not very good at this.
Any of us, completely.
No.
Yeah.
No, but big love, mate. Big love.
But we will be back in this week for Keeps Zone, and that's going to be another good one. Yeah.
Lone Jones.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys. Myself, Anyway That Sports. Big up to all of you guys down in the chat.
Yeah, big up all the people in the chat.
Yeah. Enough respect, guys. So see you guys later. Peace out.
Cheers.